back in September, and we're in our Ecamm headquarters. Everything is going along swimmingly, and all of a sudden, Cox Cable decided to just not work in the middle of this important event. There's a couple thousand people like ready to see what's going on, and normally these things happen. It's a blip. It's a 5 minutes or 10 minutes blip or whatever. No, it was like the whole rest of the day. So I streamed the entire second half of a multi-thousand person conference with an iPhone 12 because Speedify kept it going.
Oh. You saw part of
Really?
it? Cool.
Nice. All right, we are famous. You want to say hi to everybody? Now you're on the video. It's a wave. That's the camera right there. Nice. All right. We are going back to look at this guy's house. And it has a lot of white lights. Nice. I like the wreath. Oh, we didn't notice what's going on in the basement window. It's snowing.
Some takeaways are, first guys, get started. If I look back at my original lives, they are awful. They're terrible. But we all start somewhere and we all get better. And every time you go live and every time you get on camera, you're going to get a little bit more comfortable.
There he is. Hey, Christian.
Fine.
I think that's where you've got to be a little bit creative. You've got to kind of jump through the screen, and the only way you can jump through the screen is, I think you've got a Peroni like I do.
I do have a Peroni.
And in a few minutes, I think, or maybe now, we're going to open it, but we can share the exact same beer together and we can talk about it. And all of a sudden now, we've reached each other at a deeper level.
But it was like a hard drop. Stream ended. Concurrent viewership halved or thirded. Is if you lose internet connection, even if you have a
Brutal
dedicated,
how fast they go. Yeah.
they'll switch to Netflix. There's too many entertainment options. So I was sitting there like the first time it happened. What can I do? And I looked over at my backpacks of the gear that runs on Speedify. You paid for a year of it. You can use it on any computer or device. So I just pulled out my one of several hotspots I have, hooked it up, cranked up Speedify, and it has never been a problem since.
And lo and behold, you've got one microphone in there, you've got two dongles in there, you've got an Ethernet there, and you've got Wi-Fi running on the thing as well. If only we had some software that we could bond all those signals together and broadcast over. Hey, guess what we did? We started using yours. Others I don't think are available, but we haven't used others. But what we did was we used the Speedify software at a command line level. So it's not running a whole UI which is starting to drain resources. It's really very, very base level. And the really clever people at the BBC got it all working. And we're now presenting whole programs every single day of the year have been presented using this technology. All our weather reports from our weather presenter are done on them.
And we're actually at an hour here, but if you don't mind, I'm happy to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, this build's going to be done in like a minute, so. But here's the build. I don't have a power cable, unfortunately, or I don't have one readily available, but this is what it looks like.
Nice.
Good to go.
We're using software like Speedify to bond our internet connections. So we're using both the iPhone 12's cellular connection, and it's connecting to this Android phone in my hand and using its Verizon connection. So hopefully we get good video even though we're walking around in West Philadelphia. We also talk about stuff like, how to run your business with live streaming. And I think Nate's gonna have a lot of insights. You gotta slide over that way. You're about to walk on the railing. A lot of insights because he's
Welcome to Speedify Live. I'm your host, Alex Isis, and believe it or not, this is our 80th episode of Speedify Live, the live stream about live streaming. And you have heard correctly. This is the place to be. So good to have you guys here. So in these streams, I talk about, how to create live streams, how to be engaging, how to make a good live stream, and how to build your audience and actually turn it into a real business. So to that end, we interview special guests, and holy cow, do we have a special guest today? Let's bring on Jeff. Jeff, we're starting now. All right.
Hello.
Hey, that was an exciting little intro you had going on there.
How are we doing today, Alex?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So do you mind just telling us, for those who don't know, I think most people probably do, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jeff, aka Stince. People know me as Stince for the longest time. I'm a custom PC builder. We build custom PCs for a lot of content creators, gamers, you name it, businesses, colleges, esports, and we broadcast a lot of our builds here on our Twitch channel.
Right. So am I right? You guys have been building PCs since '96, right?
I have it. Yeah. So I'm a little bit older. I look very young, but I'm actually. I'm in my late 30s, late 30s, and I've been building PCs ever since I got integrated A+ certified back in the day. Everything from first generation Intel, first generation AMD, I've built on those platforms. So I've been around the block, I guess you can say.
Nice. All right. So it's largely gaming PCs, right?
Yeah, we build obviously
stuff.
really big in the content creation space. Those are in the gaming days, obviously gaming, streaming, things of that nature. But we also do build a lot of smaller end systems for workstations we've done for doctors' offices or things like that. People don't really know that we do that, but we do that as well. But yeah, we're primarily focused really in the gaming space.
Right.
Yep.
Cool. So how long have you actually been live streaming the builds?
I think this is going on. Well, we've been Twitch partner now just for over a year, building PCs, and then we've been live streaming now for about 2.5, maybe 3 years. Live streaming PC building on the channel. Started off really small. Started off maybe 3, 4, 5 viewers. People really like the content. I guess maybe my personality. Maybe I don't know. Mostly I say it's the content. And then it really just started to grow. People liked how educational it could be. Really, we started with literally just one C920 webcam, an overview shot of how we were building PCs, and it turned into more of a production now. We've got 7 cameras here in the studio. We have overlays. We have lots of things, and it just changed. So we've been doing it for about 3 years now.
Nice. Has it really been helping your business?
Yeah, I think it's a really good way for people to.
How has it been helping your business?
I would say it's the biggest thing is it's really allows people to really interact with us as a builder, as a system integrator, to see the quality of the components that we utilize, the cable management, the passion that we have for it. And then they also get to interact with us and get to know us more. So instead of it just being like, hey, I'm buying from a big name company, I don't know who they are, how they treat their people, they get to see it firsthand. And I think that builds more brand credibility, especially on this space.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So Natasha just reminded me that we are live. This is completely live. We're live streaming. Jeff and I are just chatting, and we are seeing your comments.
Yeah. You can see my comments. I've got, I'm using, so we talk about live streaming. I know you guys are big into how to stream. We use OBS virtual camera. So everything that you typically would see on our stream today will be integrated into this as well. So it's really cool. You can see how we have our overlays, all of our animations, my chats, and my chat can get quite fun, as you can see.
Nice. That was going to be my next question. What software are you using here?
We use OBS. We use OBS Studio. It's 100% the one we recommend to use. We don't really recommend really anything other than that. Stream Elements, OBS is really good. We have that integrated into our OBS Studio. But I recommend people to use that platform. Streamlabs can be quite quirky, I would say. So we put a lot of people more into the stream elements space.
Nice. All right. Yep. What kind of computer are you using? Microphone, camera.
Yeah. So I'll talk about setup. So people really ask that, so that's really cool. So we're on an AMD platform. We have an AMD Ryzen 5800X, pairing that with 32 gigs of memory. We've got a 1 terabyte primary NVMe SSD drive, a 2 terabyte backup drive to record any kind of content we want to record. We've got so that's our primary workhorse, and tied to that we've got a Yamaha mixer, a wireless lavalier system here. So you'll see my chat. They'll ask about the Britney Spears mic, the "Hit Me Baby One More Time." Yeah, we have that integrated into our live stream. We've got a Rode Pod mic here. We've got a Yamaha mixer that does all of our audio to USB. Because we also have like choir style mics into the broadcast. So if we have guests who want to build with us, we can pick up all the acoustics in the room. And then we have 7 cameras. We use 3D mirrorless wireless 3 DSLRs, and we have 4 web cameras, C922 Pro webcams from Logitech.
So how are you switching among all those cameras?
We use all via OBS, and then I have over here on our workstation where we build, which I can show you what it looks like here. So from our desk camera here, I'll show you this. We have on this full screen, you can see we have overhead cameras, we have front angle cameras, and then over there I have a Elgato Stream Deck that can move through all my sources and my scenes while I'm right there at one station.
Nice. Oh, that's really cool. I just heard a little echo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sometimes it'll pick it up. So if I'm a little closer to this microphone to my speakers, I don't have headphones on, unfortunately, today. I'm using speakers.
All right. So we had a question from someone about what is the most interesting and memorable PC build you did? Or DK?
We call it, there's a legendary piece that we built about a year ago. We called it Goldfinger. So we called it Goldfinger because it was completely gold. We custom painted
gold or like actual gold?
Actual like gold, looks like gold flake almost.
Nice.
We use Trident Z Royal RAM. It was all golds, accented gold RGB. But the really crazy part is that we like the custom paint job took us probably about 2.5 weeks. So it took us a while to paint everything. So it was like a splatter paint in gold, and we ran 2 PCs. It had 2 full systems running in one case. So it was an immaculate PC. We can get some, definitely, I think I can get some photos of it to you guys, but it was a sight to behold.
Wow. All right. Sounds even better than the golden toilet. All right. Yeah. So good morning to all of you out there. Like I said, we are live. Keep asking these questions. We're seeing
people pop feel free. Yeah, we do paint in house. I know some people are asking. I see like I think it's both chats are integrated in here. I believe with the
I believe so.
So yeah, we do paint in house. We do custom paint in house. We custom paint everything from GPU shrouds to cases, to other parts of the components that are into the systems. We'll do anything that won't avoid any kind of warranty, of course, from the manufacturer that we work with. But we will do add that customization level to the next tier, really.
Nice. Totally blanking. Oh, what do you use to interact more with the audience, right? I mean, people are obviously popping questions all the time with you. Are you using any bots, any tricks?
Yeah, so we have luckily I have a really good mod team that does help, obviously, in live production. So we have moderators in the chat. You see one of them right in here, Below Average Gaming Dad. He's in every single one of our streams. It really helps a lot of our community. We also, for me to also interact with chat, I have multiple monitors set up. I mirror my main display right here, which I'm looking at right now while I'm talking to you, even though my camera's right here.
There we go.
So I look directly at usually at my camera, but my monitor that I have, my main monitor, which is right here in front of me, which I see the entire broadcast, I have a broadcasted to a 50-inch TV on the wall here, and then I have an overhead 24-inch monitor that hangs above the build station that I can read chat and interact with chat there as well. So it's a full system. I'll show you a really cool angle. People like to see this because they want to see the entire overlay.
I want to see the entire thing.
Yeah, let me find a wide screen capture where you guys can see this. And there's the front, but let me add a source for you real quick. Give me a second here. Because I usually don't have just a scene for this, but there you go. There is the entire messy studio space that we have. So you can see, hey, I'm here at my desk, get all my information here. I have my screen up there, all my audio equipment's behind the PC here. And then we built this rigging system to hold the cameras, microphones, monitors, overhead cameras. We built this out of 3/4 inch steel piping that we just we built and configured, and I guess you could say redneck engineered, but it's sturdy as can be. It's like an exoskeleton that's built around the table and to the table as really the I'd say the core like workhorse, the core like weight of the entire frame. But it's a really cool setup. You see all the cabling we have running and gaff taped down to the floor, the camera wires, everything like that. So we can maneuver around everything really easily. But it's really well lit. We have LED banks in the ceiling that are already were built into the facility. We've audio proofed a lot of the walls. It could be a little bit better. But we really made this a really nice, interesting place for people to really see our components and our products and what we build right here.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Looks kind of similar to mine, except that you have twice as much space. Imagine all that just jammed much closer together.
Well, the crazy part is 2 years ago when we were just getting started, we were building in a facility that was the size of this room. We had 3 PC building stations, some of our inventory. Then we had a small little, I'd say 14 by 12 foot, like almost like a closet. It wasn't a closet, but a storage room. And then we also had almost a warehouse, like a couple of shelves in a warehouse that was in the back that we were building in this size space. Now we've expanded over about 4,000 square feet. So we've readily expanded from where we started, because it's not just what we build here on stream. We build about 100 to 120 PCs sometimes a month, all over across the U.S., Canada. We shipped one to Great Britain last week. So we build all over the world. And the big thing is people wanted to be able to, see our product, and luckily now they can.
Nice. Man, this streaming thing, you can start so cheap with just, one laptop.
You can. You really can.
And then you realize you need a better mic. And then you need a better camera.
Yes.
And then you need some sound absorbing foam.
Yeah,
that was lights.
Yeah, the light. Well, luckily we're a little good on the lights. We do have one light that does help light some of it, because it does. I mean, like I said, the overhead banks, the LEDs are a little. It's gonna be a little dim. But we shoot with higher end cameras that have a little bit lower f-stops on the cameras to allow a little more light into the lens while we're shooting. Mm-hmm. So everything's what looks super crisp and bright. And sometimes in this room is not really necessarily as bright, but it does really well.
Yep. Yeah, it looks really good. So are there LEDs under that table behind you, where the walls are?
Yeah. So those little, if you look right here, those little black, little floor lamps that just add a little accent to the panels. So if you look at the texture of the panels, it captures that purple essence of the light. Yeah. And so when we take photos on those walls, we have put on our Twitter and things like that, our social media, it just adds a little bit more depth to the background, because we have the space is only about 20 feet by about 16 feet in here. Just for the studio, we can only have so much in here, so we wanted to make it really a great space to be able to capture a lot of content. And that little wall that we have is just 3D panels. It's a great backdrop for photos.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So have the component shortages affected you badly?
I would say
shortages.
I would say probably last year we felt a little bit of the shortages. Obviously, NVIDIA cards with what was going on with the cryptocurrency and and Bitcoin and all that. Obviously, with Ethereum being really popular last year, people were buying and trying to buy wherever they can, their wholesale, the distribution, direct from manufacturers, so on. And it was creating shortages on top of what was happening in Taiwan and Japan and China with shortages of workers. And those factories being limited to the amount of staff they could run, we're seeing production shortages. So eventually, it's gotten better. I'd say in the first quarter of this year, it started to pick up. Now we're starting to see things a little bit better for consumers to be able to buy and build their own systems. But it's still not where it was years ago, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. I'm hearing people say that by the end of the year it should be better.
Well, we'll see. There's talks of next generation technology launching at the end of this year, which is going to be potentially another situation where it was last year. So we'll see. We'll see. Right. I'm going to knock on wood for that one, Alex.
All right, good. So you sent some commercials over.
Yeah. Yep.
Should we play one or two of these? And
sure. Yeah, we'll play one of those.
Every PC should be a personal experience, each one unique to the client's likes and needs. At StinceBuilt, we don't do pre-builds. We hand select each component with a creative vision that gives our end user an amazing machine. We consider every PC we build as a work of art. Whether you're in the market for a home computer, a business PC, something for gaming, or if you're looking for the best system possible to take your content creation to the next level, you can rest assured that we'll build you something amazing here at StinceBuilt. Visit StinceBuilt.com to get your PC build process started today.
All right, what do you think?
I think those are fantastic videos.
Yeah, we had some really cool teams work with us for some of the ad creations and the video creation. It's been really nice.
So here's a funny detailed question. Hutch Frags is saying that seeing you use an automatic screwdriver freaks you out.
Typically, we only utilize it on a lot like fans. We don't use it on any kind of things around standoffs for like AIOs or anything like that. Sometimes mostly just with fan screws. And then if there's any issues with them, we obviously will just go back to manual. The big thing is you want to make sure you utilize low torque, that we're not stripping screws, over tightening, things like that.
You just adjust down the torque, right? I mean,
yeah. You say if you have like a low torque screwdriver, yeah, exactly. That's why you just go back to manual. But yeah, we don't use them too much. Since that video, like you might see me use it on stream maybe once on a blue moon, only if I know I've got to put like 10 fans in a system, because I know it's going to take a lot of time. So if I'm just putting like fans onto a radiator to put into a PC, it's like, all right, those are pretty basic. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Schmoozy says that their packaging is unmatched.
Yes, that's Schmo. He's pretty much our shipping manager. He handles all the shipping, all the PCs that get shipped out of here.
So he's completely unbiased about the packaging.
Unbiased, but the crazy part is
it's the best.
The crazy part is, if people in our chat right now, they'd be like, Schmo packages them with love. Not only did he check marks every single system that goes out, but he also packages it like a newborn baby. He will literally. So the biggest thing in our industry is that people regret about buying PCs online is how am I know when I get the PC there? It's going to be packed well and it's going to be functional. And you see horror stories of big pre-built companies that build PCs, and things are smashed and broken and things like that. And that's because they just ship it in the regular case box it was built in, and they ship it to the customer. And it just UPS. You never know what kind of day the UPS driver or FedEx driver is having, where they may throw a case or throw a system. They don't know what's in there. So what we do is we try to mitigate any of those risks by packaging it really well. So we use everything from sealed air on the GPU. We pack everything extra in certain tie with extra air packs. Then we wrap the case back in the original box, and then we put it into a 220-pound double wall crush box. I'm talking, this is the walls of the cardboard is probably about that thick. People, like I said, chat, I'm seeing it already. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. We utilize that, and then we wrap that all in air packs. So it's literally on like a cloud of air, pretty much. And then we throw in some nice little treats like beef jerky and things like that we get from our partners that, they like this, they like our stuff. So it's really cool.
Nice. So those videos, can we talk about advertising for a second? Like, are you guys just live streaming? That's your ads, or you
Yeah, we've been pretty much word of mouth. I'd say probably since conception, really, since we started our company. Most of the people just knew about who we are, our dedication, our passion to building quality PCs. We do a few little ads here and there. Mostly, we like to sponsor a lot of content creators in our space or events in our space. We've done like Evasion, which is game Escape from Tarkov, which is a very popular game right now. We've sponsored some Warzone events, some PUBG events. These are games that people play, and just really help give back to the community. We've done a lot of giveaways with different companies and different content creators just to give back. And that's who we are. We don't have a huge margin in our components and our products. So we don't really have a huge fluff for advertising. That's a big thing you'll see, is we're pretty genuine about the products and our pricing and the quality, is that we don't have really high margins that will give us the opportunity to go and spend thousands in advertising budget, unfortunately. Yeah. So we really use our stream as a way for people to interact and meet us.
Yeah, same here. Yep. We're thinking about starting to run some, try buying some Speedify ads and see how it pays off. But so far it's been word of mouth, live streaming.
Yep.
Uh-oh, we got a complaint. You forgot to give someone beef jerky?
Oh, no, who didn't get beef jerky?
Oh, now they're not going to be your friend. All right.
Oh, that's probably, you probably got it right before we got probably because we go through it pretty quick. I
like that. I like those little touches.
It's just something that we like to do. Machine. And then we have a really good team. Like our team's all interactive. We utilize Discord, which is really big in the gaming space. People can come interact with us and type with us and message us and really have a really good form of communication. And if there is, if we have an issue from time to time, I mean, we ship hundreds of PCs, we might have one or two that might have either like, oh, we missed a driver or something got missed. It happens, everybody's human. But our team is really, really responsive and really helps people out. So and they love that. So
nice.
Yep.
So how much have you guys been affected by the pandemic?
We've been kind of lucky.
Did you have to go virtual?
Well, so the great thing about in our state in Pennsylvania, if you were a online business, you could actually kind of maneuver around and actually be able to still conduct business. Since we're also separated and not too far away, and we're close to the public, we're able to operate pretty much full speed ahead, which has been really nice. Really nice.
Nice. So right now, are you everyone's in the office every day, or?
Yeah, so we're still a smaller team. So we have about oh gosh, we've grown. We have 8 employees. One is virtual. So one works virtual full time. He's actually out of Phoenix, Arizona. He's one of our customer service manager. People knows him as AJ. And then we have in our office, Rodney and I are here daily every day from pretty much 8:30 to 6. And then we've got our pretty much, I'd say our part-time employees that come in the afternoon, and work, usually about anywhere from 3 to 6 hours a day. And we have obviously a CFO as well. So we do pretty well. Luckily we don't have, and we have a big space, so we're not always on top of each other. And if people have anything with COVID, things like that, we're like, hey, I came in contact with somebody, hey, take a couple of days, make sure everything's good, get tested, so forth. Yeah. So we haven't had any issues there.
All right, good. Yeah, we're office is back open, but for us, it's software. I mean, most people come into the office 1-2 days a week. There are people who come in less than that. Mostly doesn't matter. All right. So you were saying Discord. What do you do on Discord? Right?
Everything
customer support,
customer action. People can request updates, quote requests. We update our community. Like, hey, we're going live. Like we tweet out, or we put in Discord, hey, we're going live today. We're over on Speedify channel. Come out and say hello. So that's where a lot of our community's in here right now. So we've got, I don't know how many viewers in the chat right now. I can't even tell. Just 30 to 40.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people.
Well, you've got hundreds. So I see some of my people on our channel still, and I see some of them on your channel.
Software's claiming that 390 people are watching right now.
That's awesome. So. That's awesome.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Obviously, people have been joining, so maybe I should sort of give the intro again.
Yeah.
I'm Alex Gizis. This is Speedify Live, the live stream about live streaming, and I'm interviewing. Got to point the wrong way. Jeff Stintz of StinceBuilt. StinceBuilt. Right?
Yep.
So we're talking about live streaming, building PCs, building your business around live streaming, which he has done an amazing job of.
So are we
live? Ask questions.
Are we ready to start building while we chat? Because I can hear everything clear as day over here. You guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get started, and then people can ask questions. I can do everything. So I'll show you our whole setup here. So you can.
Yeah, there we go. Pop me down the car. I'm not very interested. Oh, I can't hear you right now, Jeff.
Yeah, so my mods are
there.
today. Hopefully you can hear me.
Now I can.
Yeah, I was transitioning to a wireless lavalier. Like I said before, people call it the the Britney Spears microphone. The old slap chop, the sham wow. Yeah. So if you see that in chat, just be fair warned.
Yeah.
But they're probably mad at me today because I didn't get to send them over the specs for today's build. So we'll kind of go over it here because in our production, I'm kind of giving you almost what we do every day. This is what I do 3 days a week. So I build right here at this tabletop. So we got our overhead cameras here, like I talked about. We have a DSLR mounted to the rigging. We have C920s across the back, so you can see every kind of angle of the PC being assembled. And this is what we do. We usually do anywhere from an hour to 2, sometimes 3-hour builds, depending on how crazy they are. But yeah, it's kind of setup. So this you can see right here. I'm looking right at you.
Nice. Yeah, the OBS is really nice. You can do anything you want with it, right? Building all these custom scenes.
You really can, because I can get
cameras.
crafty. Like my chat gets very fun, so I can look directly into their soul when they're being really sarcastic with me, and I can just stare them down and say, what are we doing? And I can look at them and give more angles and say, all right, guys, let's get back to business.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool.
Yep. That's all with the Stream Deck too. So you can pair all those little commands and functions built right into really Elgato software into the scenes that you can create. I think we have anywhere about 16 to 18 scenes in our OBS that we can utilize. So yeah,
I'm doing almost the same. So I'm using Ecamm in the same way.
Okay.
And I also have an Elgato Stream Deck, so I can do things like, hey, look, it's my desk.
Yeah. Love it.
But,
love it.
I have 2 cameras and a couple of screen captures that I can switch to.
All right, so do you want to let's talk about the Spectra today. So people ask us a lot of time, like we have a lot of people who come to us for different types of games and content creation. What kind of spec should I get? It's my budget. And the great thing about what we do is you can go on a website, you can go to any website and see different kind of specs or different kind of price points. But the big thing about us is we're really kind of like almost a consultative in the way that we approach all of our PC custom PC builds. Is you get a one-on-one experience. We don't charge you for the consultation. People will reach out to us and say, hey, this is the game I want to play. This is what I want to do. I want to potentially game it. I want to stream it. And we'll come back and we'll give you the full, based on their budget and what they're trying to do, we'll give them a full spec list of what we recommend. And we'll give them right down to what it would cost to ship them to their house. So people really like that. So it's kind of how we've operated.
All right. So super interesting question. For me, about software development life cycles. Can I say, come back next Wednesday? Next Wednesday, I am going to do a stream with the software developers, 2 p.m. Eastern, of Speedify, and we would love to dig into methodologies for building software and why we build Speedify the way we do. It just feels totally off topic while we have Jeff here to let me rant about software for 20 minutes. So I'm going to not answer, but come back on Wednesday and I will answer that. Fair?
Oh boy, we're getting hit with a bot.
No,
do you see this on the restream? I don't see it on Twitch. I see it on the restream.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the great power of YouTube. Let me check out.
They're attacking you, huh? So in the StinceBuilt.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube. It's on our YouTube, I believe.
We've had surprisingly little problems, knock on wood, with these sort of things. There's the occasional.
And we're getting it on our YouTube as well, or on our it's both on our Twitch as well as our it's like a follow bot. So we've got probably about 100 follows. Like all of a sudden,
which is normally good, but I assume these are of no value whatsoever since it's obviously just a robot. So what do you guys do to control unruly bots and audience members?
We drop the hammer of Thor. No, we luckily we don't really have this problem too much. I guess this is mostly coming from YouTube right now. That's unfortunate. I'll have to look over on our YouTube and see what's happening really quick. I apologize for that. It's something you deal with. You know what I mean? It's just something you have to deal with too when you're a content creator or you're streaming. Is how people are gonna unfortunately be a little malevolent.
Yeah.
All right.
You still there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
You're getting a little soft.
Yeah, I was probably moving my mic. I apologize. Hopefully it's better now.
Yeah, it's much better now.
Okay. Yeah, we just had to we had to go in sub-only mode in our channel because of the we're getting pretty much follow botted. So, but we're good.
Tough.
Should be good now.
All right. So what's going into this PC?
Yeah, let's build. All right, we're doing top down. We give you the full view.
So somebody asked earlier, do you build, the mini
What was that?
ATX type stuff? Do you ever build the mini PCs?
Yeah, we build mini ATX, mini ITX, pretty much whatever people are looking to have built, we can build it. Yep.
Nice. All right.
I must need to mute my audio for a second, Alex. I got follow botted, which is unfortunate. I'm getting a lot.
Oh,
of
are you hearing
notifications.
beeps or whatever every time?
Yeah, I'm getting all of my notifications are
okay.
spamming through. So I'm just going to open my volume mixer and just mute my Discord for a little bit, or my OBS for a few minutes.
Man, that's tough. All right.
All right, should be good now. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, my mods are already like, yep, we're taking care of it. So that's what's awesome. When you have an awesome mod team, they can jump on it and support. So I muted everything in the background.
All right, but you can still hear me, right?
All right, I can still hear you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. All right, Let's go.
Awesome.
So what kind of
All right, so
motherboard is
today
this?
we're building an awesome PC. It's a 5800X 3D, which is actually one of AMD's newest CPUs. They just released it here just about a month ago. So they add this extra layer of V cache. It's really helping a lot of some games specifically. The ones that we were really known for building in the space is called Escape from Tarkov. So it's really helping boost the FPS numbers and the performance of these games where it's really all-encompassing, really hard on the CPU. And this one does really, really well in that title. So we've had a lot of people coming to us for them because it is a very, very good CPU. Mixed with obviously some of the GPUs we're utilizing, it's just phenomenal. So that's what we're building today.
Nice.
Do you have any other questions?
So these PCs are covered in LEDs, right? I mean, how do you control them? Like, is there a standard app that people use?
Yeah. So for example, like today we're using an MSI motherboard. So we're gonna start an Asus motherboard. When we're building on this motherboard, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing it's called the 5-volt RGB header. So it's a 2+1 RGB header, which is right here on the motherboard. I'll point to it so you can see it. So it's 3 pins. It's called the 5-volt RGB, and it actually will control all of the RGB on the motherboard. So like our fans, our pump, our RGB can all be controlled by Asus's Armory Crate or RGB software.
Nice. So is that a standard thing, like in Windows? Is there like
it's
an API for controlling LEDs?
No, most of that's going to be all secondary, like software. Whether it's like first party from the manufacturer. There's also third party programs. There's like oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the big one. They just actually partnered with Be Quiet. Oh my gosh, Signal RGB. There's Open RGB. There's all these different programs that also can control some of these products. But the big ones are typically people use like usually the manufacturer of the motherboard to control it.
Right. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna start working on getting the CPU and all the components in. Still be able to hear and answer questions, but I want to get this bad boy CPU in, all these pins. What I'm going to do is check to make sure there's no bent pins. So AMD uses a different kind of socket. Their AM4 socket, the pins go down into the motherboard versus on Intel's, as I'm sure you know, they sit on top of a bed of pins. And they then get enclosed on top of the pins and pressure pulling to them, while as AMD goes right into the socket of the motherboard. It's a little different, but it's really cool.
Nice. Which one do you think works better?
What's that?
Which one works better as a system? The Intel
that's
or
a good,
AMD?
well, from a system integrator standpoint, AMD's shortcoming is really that this mounting system, outside of going directly into the motherboard, all it is a latch coming over and applying pressure to the pins to hold it in place. While Intel actually is a full bracket that then supports it and holds it down. It's a better system that Intel's using, in my opinion, for security and for really pressure versus just a latch that kind of holds it there. Now we have to rely on coolers and cooling components to really keep that CPU in transit for us as a builder to get to the client's end destination. But I mean, in terms of performance-wise, When we get started on Intel versus AMD.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was specifically asking about the mounting. Try and not start a religious war.
Yeah, that could open up a lot of questions and a lot of comments from chat. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just working on the standoffs. So Alex, I got to ask you: have you built PCs on your before by yourself?
Yes, but not in this century.
Not in this century. Okay.
So I'm a little outdated.
So let's vice versa this. You asked me what we build with, what kind of PCs and the technology we use. Now I'm going to ask you, what is Speedify running on?
So the Speedify itself, the software.
Well, not necessarily the software. Like when you're doing your streams right now, your content creation. I know it's not just you too, which chat doesn't know. There's like a team that's also supporting and helping. It's a nice broadcast. Like, what are you guys utilizing for all the stuff that comes together?
Right. All right. So let's just show my desk for a second. I'm on a Mac Mini.
Okay.
As hardware, and I've got the Elgato Stream Deck, and for internet, this is sort of cool. See if this works right. Yeah, look at that. Can we make me a little larger here? Awesome. I'm using Speedify, using 3 internet connections at the same time. So my Ethernet is connected to a Comcast cable modem, which right now is working fine. So that's all it's using. Yep. But then, as you saw in the desktop view, I have 2 cell phones on the desk, both of which Speedify is using as basically secondary connections. So if anything goes wrong with the Comcast modem, which it does sometimes, the live stream will just move instantly over onto the 2 cellular connections, and it'll bond those, and I'll just keep going. So that's Speedify, my fun toy that we've been working on. As far as software, then, beyond Speedify, I'm using Ecamm on the Mac.
Okay.
To do all this stuff with changing between cameras and doing the special effects and the background music. That's all happening in the Ecamm here. And then for the interview, you and I are both then streaming to Restream Studio.
Yep.
Which is the web-based software.
This is really cool because I've actually never used this new version of it where it then restreams to multiple channels. I've heard of Restream, but not in this aspect right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's Restream Studio, which is a relatively newer right? The classic Restream took RTMP and sent it everywhere. Now they have this web-based app that lets you do interviews and stuff, and then send the video everywhere. So I think if you're dealing with remote people, and they're pretty simple: Melon app, StreamYard, Restream Studio. They're all these web-based in the browser live streaming interview software, and they're pretty great.
Yeah, it's really awesome stuff.
So a missing piece, somebody just texted me. So in Restream, I've set my camera to be the Ecamm virtual camera.
Yep.
And I've set my mic to be the Ecamm virtual mic. So I'm using a Yeti Blue mic, but it's going into Ecamm, which can then add extra effects or whatever, or add music or whatever, and then that goes into Restream. So I can change which software we're actually sending the broadcast with, and I'm always using Ecamm.
That's awesome. See, that's kind of what I'm doing almost in OBS. I'm using the OBS virtual camera, which is then taking any kind of scene that I'm utilizing, and then pushing it over to you. And instead of using integrating our stream audio, I'm just using our direct mixer line in, which is going to have any of our 5 microphones set up on there to utilize it. So
it's very similar. And I would absolutely, if I was on anything but a Mac, I would definitely be using OBS, right?
Oh yeah, it's amazing software.
Yeah. OBS,
So the big thing I want to ask you is we talked about the other day is the big thing with streaming and content creation right now is there are I would say ISPs out there that don't really utilize a very good or don't have really high end let's say internet. Their upload speeds maybe cap at like 5 megabytes, which is really hard to do on a good bit rate stream. how does Speedify come in and amplify that?
Right. So Speedify does a couple things. Thank you for the question, by the way.
Yeah. I put
This
you on
is
the
a
spot,
great
right?
guest. This is a great guest setting me up.
Yeah, right.
So there are really two main tricks. One, if your internet connection is dropping packets, like all the internet protocols are based around this assumption that if you send a packet, it almost definitely gets through. So everything goes to hell. Like if you're even losing 2 or 3% of the packets you send, which happens when you're at like the edge of range of Wi-Fi or have a weak signal on cellular, like your speeds don't drop 2 or 3%. They drop 50, 80, 90%.
Yeah.
So Speedify is watching for that. And if it sees that packets are getting lost, it'll start sending them. It'll do really clever stuff where it'll actually send them more than one time and things to make sure they get through to fix your speed. The other thing is the bonding, right? So that this Comcast cable modem I'm on is 600 down, 35 up. If everything's going great, that is enough to live stream on. But anything goes wrong, I mean, I really do need, tens of megabits.
Yeah.
And DSL 5 up. Oh God.
Yeah.
So you can tether your cell phone, and you can tell Speedify, the DSL is free. Use it first. Don't use my cellular unless I need it for the speed boost.
Yeah.
And then Speedify will kick in and use a little bit of cellular to get you up to the speed you need.
That's awesome. Like, I was telling some of the team, like we have content creators that reach out to us that literally they can't go live because they're, for some reason, in remote areas that they're trying to, and this is a full-time career, is that they're getting hit with maybe at some of their peak times where a lot of people around them are they're utilizing the lines. I think they're obviously shared fiber optic lines, so there can be one neighborhood, and they're getting upload speeds of potentially only 2 to 3 megabytes, which is not very good when you're talking about a 5K bit rate or a 5 megabyte bit rate upload. So the big thing is they're worried about is latency and ping delay, things like that. How much does that affect? I know we talked about the other day, but how effective is Speedify to help with those issues?
A lot. So it's a funny thing because if you're watching your best times, your lowest latency numbers, when you add Speedify, it is adding this extra hop through one of our servers. So if you have this super low ping time, you may see it go up a bit with Speedify. But Speedify is protecting you from those disasters, right? Those times when something goes wrong and your latency goes up to 300 milliseconds because your neighbor suddenly starts using their Wi-Fi or something, or torrenting. Speedify will detect that and kick on, the cell phone. It'll prioritize things and say, if it's Windows update kicks in on the background of your PC when you're in the middle of live stream, Speedify actually knows the difference to say, no, the live stream packets are a priority stream, and they should get through first, even if it means Windows update needs to be slowed down. So there's some, quality of service.
That's awesome.
As we technical people call it, to say, live streams, video calls, voice over IP, they're much more important than, little things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I was asking you the question. I'm over here building the way. But I love it because I think it's something that obviously the community is, and I could probably speak for hundreds of content creators that I know that have had these issues with ISPs just kind of kicking the bucket on them, and this could solve a lot of issues, which is really cool. That's why I loved when you guys reached out to us. I was like, this is an awesome product.
Yeah, I think the coolest things is how we do the priorities, right? That you can say this is a primary connection, use it all you want.
Yep.
And then you can give it to cellular and say this is secondary.
Yep.
If those primaries are doing the job right, try not to use it.
Sure.
But if I need it, it's cool. And then there's the backup. If something's really expensive, and say, only use this if you need to save me.
Yeah.
Don't do it for a speed boost.
That's awesome though. So
because some things are expensive, right? Cellular is not always cheap.
So any other ways for it to bump, or any other types of resources that it can utilize, other than let's say like your regular standard wire connection in your cell phones or any other ways, any other signals that have to be. You probably have to pay for those, correct?
Any internet you can get to your computer
Okay.
is recognized as internet.
Okay.
And of course, it runs on cell phones. So on a cell phone, you've always got the Wi-Fi and the cellular.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you get Ethernet. With USB, you can add all kinds of crazy stuff to your computer, right?
Yeah.
You can have 3 Wi-Fis. And interestingly, Windows supports this. You know, down by the clock, when you click the little thing and it pops up to pick the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
If you have more than one Wi-Fi, at the top of that appears a pull down asking you which Wi-Fi card. And you can pick each Wi-Fi card and which Wi-Fi that should join. You know, join 3 Wi-Fis at once, and Windows is fine with that. Without Speedify, it'll then only use 1.
Yeah.
But if you have Speedify, you know, you can use all 3. So you can do really weird things, right? So, you know, you can join hotspots off phones. You can join your neighbor's Wi-Fi and let them join your Wi-Fi. Yeah. Since, you know, most people only use the internet here and there and are actually idle most of the time. You know, sharing with your neighbor pretty much just adds up and gives you both the speed boost.
That's pretty. I love that. That's awesome. All right, it might get loud here for a second. I'm going to take out the case. So we got a little bit of a
nice. Let's get the case out.
Chunky case. We got the Leanly Air Mini. So it's not necessarily a small case, but it's not a very big case either. Let me grab this right now.
Lift your legs.
What's that?
Lift with your legs.
Oh yeah. Chat will give me a hard time about it. Trust me. All right. It's not too heavy. It's only probably about maybe 25 pounds or so.
Okay. Exciting. The big reveal.
The big reveal of the case. Yes.
Ooh. Nice.
Right.
That's the bottom.
There we go.
Even the bottom looks nice.
It's a beautiful little thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it all opened up.
So is the side glass or is it like acrylic?
Yeah. So the front is actually a mesh panel that just pops up like that. So the front's mesh, completely mesh. Mm-hmm. It's actually not. I say not mesh. It's just grated steel, pretty much, like a refined cheese grater. But the side panel is indeed glass. Yeah, it's a tempered glass panel, which can help make sure people don't drop it, things like that. And they just slide up and down into the track like this. It just slides right out.
All right, so while he builds, just another intro because people are coming and going. This is Speedify Live. I'm Alex Gizis, your host. I'm on with Jeff Stintz of StinceBuilt, who is building us a PC. But, you know, we're talking about live streaming, how to get good at it, how to run your business off it. And I think hopefully we're learning a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of so Alex, I got to ask, are you a gamer?
You know, not really. I do play some games, but I am so not hardcore. You know, you know, it's the classic. You know, my son turned 12, and suddenly I discovered I stunk. You know, yeah.
I'm gonna put my my own kiddos through the ringer. So I've got young ones as well. Mine are my one's only 6, but she's now I would say queen of the Mario realm, and she's probably gonna give my wife a run for her money. My wife was the Mario player in our family, and she's quickly making a run at the throne, shall I say?
I was a big fan of, like, you know, BioShock and Halo, right?
Yep.
That whole era. But now I'm an old man. So my oldest just turned 21 yesterday. So
okay. I would have guessed you maybe in your early 40s, Alex. I would not say you got a 20-year-old.
I'm in my late 40s.
I said early, say. Very nice.
I'll take that. I've had a couple of people recently guess off by decades. And you would think that would be nice, right? You know, you go into a bar and the waitress IDs you. You're IDing me. It's like, sure, I ID everyone under 35. And then she looks at my driver's license and just sort of recoils. Something is not so nice. Just like, oh God, you're old.
Well, unfortunately, I get the reverse. I don't ever get ID'd because I look over 35.
Yeah. So somebody just threw up the fun fact that I made Bungie's first website.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh boy.
Ended with them throwing me out the door.
Oh man.
They hated it. They shut down the website. They're like, you know, the comment form is just thousands of people a day asking when, you know, the new version of Marathon will ship, right? So before they did Halo, they did Marathon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they were like, this thing is just terrible.
Yep.
You know, it's going to ship when it's going to ship. We don't need people asking us every day. and they shut down their website, and you know, later they hired someone else who built another one. So
wow. All right, let's see here. I'm just going to do a double take.
Gaming claim to fame.
So I'm looking at the settings of what we're going to build today. So we're going to add a lot of fans in this little case, and by a lot of fans, we're going to have 4, 5, 7 fans in the system. And that's a little itty bitty case. Make sure we have plenty of airflow.
How loud is this thing going to be?
Surprisingly, not that loud. So what we're going to be utilizing on the radiator on the system is we're going to be utilizing what's called push-pull. So we're going to be putting 2 RGB fans on the front. We're going to put 2 black 120 fans on the rear, pulling air through, pushing it and pulling it both through the radiator that we're using for the all-in-one enclosed liquid cooler. We're going to use 2 140 fans on the bottom here to help intake air, and then we're going to have 1, 2, and 3 exhaust fans to keep a nice constant flow of air through the case. Make sure our thermals stay really efficient in those hardcore gaming sessions where they can spike pretty high. We're going to be trying to mitigate all those heat and jumping heat signatures, especially off graphics card when they're being utilized correctly. They're going to get pretty toasty. CPUs can get a little warm. The RAM, people don't really think about. RAM can get pretty warm. And now NVMe drives, these little hard drives that look like a stick of gum, they get pretty toasty as well. So when we use proper cooling in a lot of our systems, we can.
I never think about it. Yeah, hard disk temperature, but I guess that's an issue now.
Yeah, now these NVMe's can get pretty hot.
Yeah, as they get smaller and smaller, they're just getting put right on the board.
Yeah, especially right on the board. Right. So what they've been starting to put on
the
these
hot stuff.
You know, they started to put on these boards now. They're starting to utilize like almost like a heat dispersion. They'll use a little thermal pad on top of a like a piece of aluminum, really to kind of disperse the heat from going right at the graphics card and affecting the CPU, things like that. It kind of disperses it to the side. It works. The thermal pad kind of keeps it a little cooler, but it's still.
Here's a question. Quiet Galaxy is asking: have you built computers for anyone famous?
Yeah. We built for Odell Beckham Jr. About a week ago. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Built an insane system for him. We built Max Holloway. He's a UFC fighter. Trying to think of who else we've done recently. Ben Simmons and the NBA. A couple of football players. Some MLB players. We built for a few people. Yeah.
All right. Simmons. I guess I should.
Ben's a really good guy. I'm not. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to leave it right there because I know you guys are in the Philly area, so we're just going to leave that conversation for another time.
So, saw Doc Rivers this morning.
Oh yeah.
Turns out we're neighbors.
Really?
But I'll leave. I'll leave him alone.
All right. Well,
I yell even if I ever see him.
Next episode of Speedify will be a Cribs episode with Alex.
I assume it's just during the season he lives here, and he has
that's awesome.
Somewhere more fantastic in the off season.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know the team there is all Philly sport, or it seems like a lot of them are Philly sports. Because when I had one of our meetings before, I was like, oh, you like sports? Like, oh yeah. I was like, okay. So it's really cool. I mean, who doesn't like sports though? But yeah,
it's heartbreaking though, being a Sixers fan.
Yeah,
very similar to being an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I could see that. But I'd love to see is I also love when people in one of the comments in chat was like, not gonna lie, this is reminding me to clean my PC.
Yeah.
Is it dirty? Is their PC dirty? Oh boy.
So suggestions on cleaning a PC?
PC, compressed air. Don't get too close to the components. Compressed air can work wonders. If your case comes with any kind of built-in filtration filters, sometimes there's like magnetic trays, magnetic filters that are in there. Take them out. You can actually run most of them underwater, so let them dry. Don't put them back in the PC right away. We don't need the water in there. Come on now. But usually, just clean them out. Compressed air. Like I said, if they have a magnetic tray that is mostly just plastic with a little bit of magnets, you can wash a lot of the dirt out of the magnetic tray, let it dry overnight when your PC's not running. It should be dry in the morning, and you can put it back in. But yeah.
All right.
Those are great. Those are some great ways. Great ways to do it.
Consider with a 1 terabyte fiber.
What was the question?
With one TV fiber. I think you must mean 1 gigabit.
1
fiber.
gigabyte fiber, yeah.
Yes,
Fiber is really great. So the crazy part is people are really excited about fiber. I mean, unless you're really reading and writing at those speeds, most people are ever really going to utilize 400 gigabytes or 400 megabyte connections.
Yeah, I saw an interesting talk by a Comcast executive who said they've been studying like what people mean when they say fast internet, right? They're a big enough company, they pay for studies like that. And they said, it turns out it's 25 megabits to every single device in the house at the same time.
Yep.
Right? I mean, if you get 25 megabits to your phone, it's fine, no complaints. If you get 25 megabits to your TV, no complaints. But that doesn't mean 25 megabit internet connection is good enough because you want to be watching the TV. Yep. You got the laptop, you got the phone. Your kids each have their right, and so it keeps piling up. But for most people, if you're kind of browsing the web, watching a video, I mean, these live streams, I don't know. At the second, I'm actually only sending 4 megabits here. I should move more and increase it.
So that's what you're utilizing, 74 megabytes right now?
4 megabits.
Oh, 4 meg. Yeah. Because you're
four, right?
Whatever your upload is going to be. Most of your download speeds is going to be what you're taking in, like our connection, your interaction with chat, things like that. Everything else is going to be on that upload speed. So that's really what's crucial. Or people, I've got.
Look at this.
In some of these remote areas,
show me for a second. Something glitched. Can somebody pop me up bigger for a second?
Yeah.
There we go. So something glitched out there. If you see there's that spot underneath where it says 4 megabits, where Speedify decided to go ahead and use the Pixel and a little bit from the iPhone in order to keep me streaming. I don't actually know exactly what happened there.
I won't ask you.
I can't poke around while we're streaming, but I guarantee you something went wrong with the Comcast for 10 seconds there. And Speedify just smoothed over it with a little bit of cellular. So
that's pretty cool that it just did that and helped boost the signal, because I didn't see a single thing drop. I don't think chat did either.
Yeah. It's a weird user interface problem for us, though. Right?
What is that?
Because most people think, so Speedify should not bother you at all. You're live streaming. It should just hide all the problems and make everything work great and not pop anything up and not ever disturb you. And that makes perfect sense, except then, we've had more than a couple people show up saying that they got Speedify, used it for a while, thought it wasn't doing anything. So they got rid of it. And then their streams were all messed up for a week. And they finally put together, Speedify was doing stuff and saving my stream.
It's a non-obtrusive program. Some people are so used to these programs that are just in your face with what's happening. Saying, boop, this was done, this is done, or boop, this was detected. And they don't realize that it's a low running background process that's helping keep things going.
So we're trying to get to some middle ground where we, claim credit for things, but don't pop things up while you're actually in the middle of something important.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah. So we got the case in, we got the that's what I was running. I was getting the motherboard all in, so motherboard's all in. So we got to start adding our fans, our fun part, our fans. I know we chatted a lot in the beginning because we were talking about all of our studio setup here and how we broadcast things and the lighting and all that we got almost sidetracked of, hey, let's build this PC now.
Nice. What's that?
This is our all-enclosed liquid cooler. So it's an all-in-one. All the liquid's already self-contained inside the cooler. This will help cool our CPU. It's got a nice copper block here with a thermal pad or thermal paste.
So what is the liquid in the liquid cooler? Is it water or is it
no,
oil
it's a chemical actually. You kind of can almost think of it almost like a radiator type style fluid, very similar. But it's a mix of that fluid and a little bit of good old H2O. But it's
All right. I am not going to ask Jeff about his OnlyFans account. Sorry.
I do not have one. It's the ongoing. We have my chat likes to do a lot of memes. I literally have this right here on my account, so I can look them in the eye when they make those type of questions.
That's awesome. So, StinceBuilt, obviously they're live streaming. You guys are mostly on Twitch, right?
Yeah, we mostly live stream just here on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, about 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we do also stream from time to time. We have passed like on Facebook or on YouTube, but mostly 100% of the time, honestly, to be fair, we are on Twitch. We do post content to YouTube and a little bit to our social media as well.
So
almost all of our
for anybody watching, it's StinceBuilt. Jump on, follow him.
Yeah, it's actually the crazy part is like my nickname's always been Stince from when I was a kid. So it's twitch.tv/Stince is where I stream directly to my channel, which is part of the brand, obviously. And then everything else is StinceBuilt everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's all at StinceBuilt.
All right. So answer for Tubby Tufu. Fufu. They're asking about how Speedify handles IP addresses. The answer is most of your traffic is going through one of our servers on the internet.
Very
so
nice.
You're using that server's IP address, and that is one of the secrets, right? You can't, if you're in the middle of an upload, a download, a live stream, you are not allowed to change IP addresses, and every internet connection has its own IP address, which is why you can't move things from one to the other without them breaking. So we're, in a clever way, just using the IP address of the server the whole time. So we can move the traffic. We can have you on the Wi-Fi and then shift you to the cellular, and the software never sees an IP address change. It's really you're using the server's IP address, not yours. So that's one of the big tricks.
I was muted. I'm back.
All right.
I was getting
I assume you like being called Jeffrey because people in your audience are telling me to call you Jeffrey.
What was that? What they want to call? Wait, what do they want me to call me?
Alex, he won't tell you, but he prefers Jeffrey.
No, that's not correct. So the great thing about it is once in a while, my own wife will come into the chat, and then Jeffrey becomes a standard conversation. But no. My chat's a lot of fun, if you can tell already. They like to have some good times.
I like you guys build some real community here. People having fun.
Yeah, I don't have a build list. I know that's what chat was asking about a build list. I don't have a build list currently right now of all the specs, but if people want to ask, I can kind of fill them in. We have a Asus motherboard today on a B550 platform. We've got a 5800X 3D. It's AMD's new CPU. We're putting this all in the Leanly Air Mini. We got 32 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz CL14 cast latency RAM from G-Skill. We've got a 1 terabyte NVMe drive from Western Digital. That's their SM750 Black SE, so it's a Gen 4. The Gen 3/4 hybrid drive, which is a little bit faster speeds. And then we've got RTX 3070 Ti going into the system, as well as an 850 watt power supply. I think that's pretty much and we've got a 240 miller AIO from Deepcool. There we go.
All right. So who's this PC for?
This PC is actually for our client, one of our somebody that purchased from us, and people request to build them on stream. This one was one. Hey, if you have time to build on stream, let's do it. I said, hey, you're gonna get a special stream today. Not only am I gonna build on stream, we're streaming with Speedify.
Nice.
So he was like, all right.
So Experience asking about how's everyone feeling on the 4000 series from NVIDIA. I'm cautiously optimistic.
The rumors are later this year, so we'll see. They're going to be power hungry if everything is what we're seeing is accurate.
So, yeah. All right. I think they said it was going to be a similar performance jump from 3K to 4K as they have from 2K to 3K.
If that is accurate, then 1440p gaming is just going to get even higher frame rates, and you'll be able to run some really high refresh monitors in 1440p and 4K, which would be really interesting to see.
Nice.
But yeah, you're probably most systems are going to be on like 1,000 watt minimum to 1,200 watt power supplies.
So did you used to be a professional gamer? Am I remembering that?
I played semi-professionally back in the day. I currently do not compete in any type of titles, but I have in the past. Who said something?
I don't remember. Somebody told me yesterday. Somebody told me yesterday.
No, I've competed across the U.S. in some titles back in the day, but no, it's been quite a while.
Nice. So are you playing games yourself these days?
Yeah, I try to when I can. Obviously, got a young family, so it's kind of hard to. But I've right now I typically I'll play some of the Call of Duties, the first-person, the FPS titles. I play a lot of Escape from Tarkov, which is one of the titles that we really help really build a lot of systems for in the community. But yeah, I enjoy gaming when I can.
Yeah.
As a father, it's hard to be able to get those gaming times in that you want, but when I can, it's great.
It is if you can't spin it as quality family time.
Yeah, luckily my time when I'm able to play is mostly when the family's off into bed. I'm up a little bit later, so I'm a night owl at times.
Nice. I used to be, but I don't know.
So here's all the camera angles that people love. So this
Yeah,
is one
I love
it's kind of tough because we've got some lighting back here so people can help see. So people see the cable management that we're doing, everything like that.
Yeah, a little tough. Everything's black on black with this build.
Yeah, which makes it a little tougher.
All right. What are those, more fans?
What's that?
What are those components? Oh, it's more fans, right?
Yes, we're adding more fans. So we already put 2 fans in the back of the cooler. It's going to help pull air through it. And we're going to put 2 on the front. It's going to give that RGB because I don't know if you've heard in gaming, RGB equals more FPS. Which is not true. But we'll have that. And then we'll have 2 RGB fans in the front and 3 in the back of the case. And then we'll have 4 black fans included as well just for help more airflow. But
nice.
Yeah, it's a great little case.
So do you have time to watch any live streaming yourself?
Yeah, I do. I actually subscribe to a lot of channels on Twitch. We like to support content creators. So between raiding, obviously after we build, we'll raid content creators and share our communities. To honestly, I'll sometimes when I'm doing work here at my desk, I'll watch content creators that are streaming, things like that. But I do enjoy gaming. This is kind of what we're in that space, so we like to support and watch when we can.
Yeah. Anyone in particular you've been spending quality time watching?
We've been doing a lot of stuff in the Call of Duty space right now with new seasons coming out and new updates coming out in the next couple of days. There's like a King Kong Godzilla event happening really soon. So all these events, I've been watching a little bit of COD, and I really like a guy his name is Breadman. He's down in the Carolinas, and his content, he's funny. He's got a good personality. He's really kind to his community. His community really likes him, and he's really one of the best, probably one of the best players right now in the game. Because a lot of people play on mouse and keyboard, or really in Warzone or Call of Duty they play on controller on a PC. He's probably one of the best mouse and keyboard players that are out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So TM is asking, do you build tiny builds like the Dan A4?
Yes, we have. Yep, we built the Dan A4 before. Yep. We've even done custom loop and a Dan A4 before as well. We've done liquid cooling in them. We don't really. It's not a fun one to do it in, but we have. And Smitty, my mod in the chat, will go, yep.
Yes, those are pretty tiny, right?
Yes, they are very tiny. Yes. Smitty's probably gonna be like, don't remind me.
Yeah, he said, let's not talk about that.
Yep. A lot of time went into that one. But yeah, we like to build a lot of things. We build everything from small cases to big cases. The big thing is we're not just going to throw something in a system together and be like, oh, hey, this is a system, got the specs you want, but then it's not going to perform correct. So, obviously, cooling is a big thing that what we really like to focus on. So, like here, obviously, we're focusing on getting a lot of good airflow through this little case because it's going to get hot. So, Yeah.
Nice. Virtual reality.
VR.
Thoughts on that? Have you guys been doing anything with that?
I personally have not. I have not had the opportunity to really to play with it or really get anything. We've talked about getting one here for the shop because we have a couple of shop PCs here that we utilize and benchmark and stress test and we thought about getting like an Oculus or the Valve, but we haven't really done it yet. But one of our employees, his name is Ryan. It's all he does is VR.
Okay.
Die-hard VR player.
Nice. Yeah, I was actually watching. People were telling me how great it's gotten.
Yep.
And so I was actually ended up watching some of those meta videos about their work products, where you like do meetings with the VR headset on.
That's crazy. That's actually really cool.
I was surprised to think this looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of going in planning to hate this stupid thing. So now I think I have to get a Oculus Quest or whatever it is and try it out. Trouble is, to try the meeting, I probably have to buy 2 other people it too, right?
Give him a high five in the meeting.
Yeah. It has neat little touches, right? It's got a camera in it, so you can set it up so that when you look down at your desk, you're actually looking through a camera at your real desk. So it's your real desk in the VR universe. So you can actually look at your keyboard and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's pretty neat. All right.
I'm not pitching it, just saying I want to try it.
I'm gonna pull some more panels apart here. Give me a second. Oop. I know that doesn't happen.
You got it apart.
All right. Right. All the cables.
So is that it? All the cables coming off power supply?
They're coming all off of the front radiator here. So I'm gonna get them here and I'm gonna be able to zip tie them and neatly manage them. All right. Excuse me.
Nice.
All this talking, my chat always reminds me to hydrate, but I can't see that today. So that's why I muted a second ago and was getting a drink.
Nice. So do you guys have any big plans for the rest of the year, or any new
we talked about potentially
coming?
doing some events. We'd like to do some events this year, potentially now that we're starting to see a little bit more expos, things like that happening. We would love to be able to
go in person to events.
Yeah, have booths, things like that. I know there's a GCX down in Florida. We've talked about doing potentially even TwitchCon. There's a couple of local events here in our local community that we always sponsor, like golf outings for against cancer, things like that. But we're interested in attending a bit more, showcasing our PCs, getting people to talk to us and meet us. So,
yeah. Last week, I think it was last week. I don't know. I'm losing track of time. It was the week before. I went to NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters show in Vegas, and that was my first show in 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah, our PCs put on that show.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I did some live streaming there, and I think a highlight was my tour of the actually B&H Camera had a booth.
Yep.
And in there they had given DJI, the drone people,
a
table. And so I don't know. People tell me a highlight of the thing was me just going through the booth with the B&H people and talking to DJI people and looking at old stuff.
That's awesome.
I miss shows. I think shows are awesome,
and
we should get doing them again. So good.
Yeah, we actually know some of the people that were doing some of the live streaming, the bigger booths that are there, and talking about it. I wish I had the photo. I could give it to you. But 2 of our PCs actually put on that main broadcast that they were doing there at the show, because we work with them. They're an outfit out of Las Vegas. That helped actually produce some of the live content that was being featured there. So it was really cool. He sent me some screenshots. They had our wallpapers up and stuff like there at the event. So I was expecting you to be like, "Hey, I saw your wallpaper or 2 there." But yeah, I'll have to send you. I wish I had those pictures. That would have been great for today.
Yeah. One thing so Ryan and I from here went and were live streaming, and we quickly realized that properly live streaming a show is in fact a 5-person job. Right?
Yep.
There should have been someone running ahead of us to make sure that the people who said they want us to stop by their booth and interview them were actually ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
two other people to go to when things went terribly wrong, who could talk about something else for a few minutes while we tried to fix things.
Yep.
So you know,
it takes a crew to make some of these bigger productions happen. No question about that.
Yeah.
It's and we're a one-man show here, but this isn't a very big production. I have a little bit of light jazz background music, a little bit of lo-fi, and it's just me chatting away.
So no crew, no one.
It's just we have other people here in the office that are working, but really for just this all the camera angles you see here, it's mostly just me and good old OBS.
Counting buttons on the Stream Deck.
Yeah, the Stream Deck. It's crazy what you can do with these things nowadays.
Yeah, we really like trying all the different streaming software, but it's getting tougher and tougher because you want to set up your Stream Deck to work properly with it, and it turns out doing it right, trying some new software turns into like 40 hours of reprogramming the Stream Deck or whatever, and doesn't really seem worth it.
Sorry about that. Someone was letting me know that, hey, can you upgrade your video quality? I didn't realize I was streaming at 720p. Now we're at 1080. So sorry about that. Now we're at 1080. Hopefully it's a little better now.
So it's a goofy thing in Restream.
Yep.
In Restream Studio, I hate to complain about them because mostly this is fantastic software, but free users can only stream at 720p, but if you're paying, you can do 1080p. But all the guests, when they first show up, it defaults them to 720p because you're not paying for the software. Once you join my stream, it lets you change to 1080p because now you're on a paying stream.
Yeah.
But at the moment you join, you're free, and I've complained to them before, and they're like, "No, that's how it's supposed to work." Yeah, because they're somehow more concerned about making sure that no free person ever gets a moment of 1080p.
Yeah, because when I joined it, I was like, "Oh, I set it up." I was like, "Oh, 480, oh," and then it's like, "Oh, 720, all right, that'll be all right," But it's nice that they not give you that option for that crystal clear 1080p. And what I'm excited to see is I want Twitch to go to 1440. There's a big. I mean, I talked to a lot of people here. I'm sure if you ask chat how many people are here on 1440p monitors, a lot of them would probably say me. And it'd be really cool to be able to see that.
Yeah, it would. That'd be nice.
That would be nice. That's why I was like, come on, Twitch. So one day, right? One day soon.
So I was asking my mother what she watches on TV these days, and she's like, "Oh, I mostly watch YouTube." I was like, really?
Even myself, I either watch streaming content. It's really hard for me to get into shows even. My wife hates it. She's like, why won't you watch this show with me? I'm like, because it's all this, a lot of them are the same premise, reimagined, and with live content and created content on YouTube and things like that, it's something different. I've always been pulled to that. You never know what you're going to get in almost like a live produced content show, So, yeah, I kind of like it. I like it.
Yeah, I've really gotten into watching live streams of all the space stuff. Yep. Live streams from the space station, rocket launches, rocket landings.
That's awesome.
That's my current jam, actually.
That's really cool. I didn't know they have a lot of that stuff broadcasted. Where would you find stuff like that?
A lot of them I've actually ended up finding on YouTube live streaming, but NASA has a whole thing of streams, live streams they do, and Blue Origin and SpaceX all do it. And then there are a bunch of people who just on Twitch go to rocket launches.
That's awesome. Then the Blue Origin, that's the Amazon's program, right?
Yes.
Yep. And that was an amazing feat. Was that a year and a half ago? A year ago? When
took
was
William
that?
Shatner to space?
No, is that who went with him? When Jeff Bezos went? When was that? Was that in?
So Jeff Bezos went, and then one of the very next flights, same rocket, he sent William Shatner up.
That's awesome. And, I didn't get to watch that one. The first one I watched.
Bezos drove him to the rocket, right? Live streaming from in the SUV, and got Shatner in the rocket, and then drove off. And when the rocket landed, Bezos drove out and greeted him. He is a grump. He is 90 years old, and one of his favorite activities is arguing with people on Twitter.
Yes,
I
I
would
can.
say he
I've
must
seen
have
those.
better
I've
things to
seen
do
those.
with his
Yeah,
time.
I've seen those arguments on Twitter. Yes, yes.
He must have better things to do with his time, but he clearly loves it, right? He can do anything he wants, and what he wants is to argue with people on Twitter. So, power to him.
Yeah, right. He's a funny guy. I remember I used to watch a lot of Big Bang Theory, and he guest starred on that quite a few times. So it was always a fun one to see.
Nice.
Were you a fan of Big Bang Theory?
I actually wasn't.
Really?
I didn't really watch it. Maybe it's great. I just didn't really watch it on TV
it was a show that
before they were live streaming.
So that was a show that I would say when I first had our firstborn, in the nights when those witching hours happened, when they wanted to feed and there's colic and all of that, and parenthood, we really enjoyed that show. So
Experian thought I was kidding saying he's 90, but in fact he's actually 91 years old.
that's amazing.
No, he is.
That's actually
Right.
that's really amazing.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second here. I'm just getting a couple more of these fan headers in.
Yeah, I mean he was super sexy guy in the 60s, right? 60s.
I mean, he's a legend. There's no question about that.
Yeah, he's done some great stuff.
Yep. He's still been doing commercials over the last few years as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in a few commercials.
Yes. He does not do podcasts. He does not do live streams. Do not ask him. Do not ask his agent. So he's not going to be a guest here.
He's not going to be a guest here. All right. And the fun part begins. I have to build a standoff for the pump for the liquid cooler.
Nice.
All right, give me a second here. It's very hands-on this part.
Mm-hmm.
Little tiny screws and very hands-on.
But yes, it is mysterious to me how he can look so good being 91. There's no way that's natural, right?
I was going to say there's ways.
I don't know what it is. Is he using stem cells or what? But you're right. He is the best looking 91-year-old in the world.
When you're good friends with Mr. Bezos, anything is possible.
Or Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yeah.
Bald in the 90s.
So there was speculation I heard that he actually is not taking over now Twitter because the board vetoed it or something like that.
Like 2 weeks. I don't know is this new today?
No, it was like about a week ago or a week or two ago when it happened. That actually didn't happen because the board of directors for Twitter vetoed it or something.
Yeah, it was just a negotiation ploy. They adopted a poison pill.
Yep.
And to force him to meet with them.
Yeah.
And so he went and meet with them and they made a deal and they took away the poison pill. So yeah,
it's official.
I believe it's official. I don't know what's left, but yeah, that was in the news. They did try to stop him.
Yep.
And it forced him to go negotiate, and they negotiated and shook hands. Unless there was news in the last 24 hours, I think it's all back on.
No, it was my weeks fly, and I know I didn't get to follow the entire story, but I was just told that didn't really happen. And I was like, wait, what?
Yes, they accepted his giant offer.
The giant offer, yeah. Imagine what that could have done to world poverty and things like that.
Every oligarch needs their own media outlet. That's right. Jeff Bezos has the Washington Post, and it is crazy, right? Looking at how the headlines have changed to be so pro-rich person since he's taken over.
Yeah,
I guess everyone's biased. You just got to know what their particular bias is. They still do some great news reporting as long as they're not covering rich people.
There we go.
For Amazon.
Right. I'm getting this all secured over here. So what I'm doing is I'm actually screwing this pump head down. I'll give you an overhead shot here in just a second. All right. There we go. Like to see the camera angles, right? You got to see the camera angles.
Yeah, I love all these camera angles. 7 cameras, you said, right?
Yeah, we've got 3 webcams right here on the rigging. We've got an overhead camera. That's a Lumix GX85 4K mirrorless DSLR. We've got another C922 up in the ceiling. It's kind of like our wide angle camera, which I showed you earlier, the entire set. We've got this primary front camera here is a Lumix G7, which has been probably one of the most touted cameras for like vlogging and things like that for years. That's our primary main camera. And then obviously on the quality of the camera, we use pretty good lenses. This is actually a 25mm 1.7, so it's pretty sharp and pretty clear. The overhead's 2.2, so it's not overly tack sharp. And then obviously the main camera that I use with vlogging and videos, and over on my desk there is a Sony a6400, which is a really good, really high-end camera with a really high-end Sigma art lens. Helps with the production. But yeah, I've been really blown away with all these mirrorless cameras, how much you can do. Because I grew up doing video on tape, so.
Yeah. Give him all the flack you want. He's still pretty much a smart dude. He's still very smart. Yeah, Elon Musk. I lean towards being an Elon Musk fan, but I see him as he is a flawed human being, just like all of us. His strengths are extraordinary, but his weaknesses are not non-existent. Let's just say that. Yeah, so watching his old TED Talks and interviews, anything before his Joe Rogan interview, he was a visionary.
And Joe Rogan put him back.
That's
on the
interesting. Did he break in the Joe Rogan interview and be different ever since?
Joe Rogan's podcast, man. I'll tell you what, it does insane things for people. There's a local comedian that was from our very own town. My wife went to school with him, and now he's become extremely popular once he got on Joe Rogan a few times. So it's really cool to see that. I mean, you're obviously popular if you get invited to be on Joe Rogan. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah. If not, you will be afterwards. Right?
Yes. Is he still taking that #1 podcast spot? He has been for the longest time, hasn't he?
I assume. I've been watching numbers. Well, I mean, going to Spotify is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I
don't want my podcasts mixed in with my music. They seem like 2 different apps.
Well, that was a big money play there.
I feel like Spotify has gotten worse.
Yeah, that had to have been a huge money play, obviously.
Oh yeah, right, because they give 75% of the money, to the artists when you're listening to music.
Yep.
And the podcast, though, they can negotiate deals where they pay much less.
Yeah, we actually listen to a lot of music. We have one of our people that's on our chat produces his own non-DMCA or DCMA free music, so we can listen to it, enjoy it, and don't have to worry about getting any kind of strikes. And he comes into our stream pretty much every stream that we build, and he's like, "How do you like the music?" I'm like, "We love it. We wouldn't be listening to it today if we didn't." So it's really cool to see those types of people on there making that content for us as content creators to utilize.
Nice.
I believe the contract was around $100 to $200 million for Joe Rogan and Spotify. Could you imagine that kind of money, Alex?
I can't actually.
All right, Alex, take me out on your private boat.
I don't have that kind of money. I just think I can imagine. You asked if I can imagine it.
Imagine. Oh yeah, we've been talking about Elon Musk for the last 10 minutes. Like, yeah, makes sense.
I have real trouble imagining how you spend more than $1 million a year, but I'm just thinking too small, right? I mean, you can drop $50 million on a single boat, so I guess it's actually really easy, I imagine, once you have the money. But right now, it seems like a lot.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I would say the one thing that I really liked watching, we talked about the YouTube earlier, is you talked about the space, and that's what got us in the whole Elon Musk everything, and Jeff Bezos and Shatner, is I liked watching the private tours of these mega yachts. Have you ever seen these things?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's amazing. I grew up on the water. I was born and raised in Connecticut. So I grew up, my family lived on the coastline. My uncle worked at it's called General Electric, where they made submarines in New London. So I had family that had sailboats in New London, and the Sound. So I grew up down there, and I grew up on the water, so I love boats, and I've taken really in the last few years, like I love boats. I really do. So I'll go on there and watch these mega yacht videos, and my wife and I will watch like the below deck from time to time. And it's just crazy how crazy some of these boats are.
Yeah. The Russian oligarchs, they're apparently grabbing some amazing yachts from those guys.
Yeah, just pocket change money for some.
I can imagine spending $1 million for Stince to build me multiple machines for my work.
Hey,
right?
that's a good thing right there.
Go ahead, order them.
Yep. Feel free to email me, Jeff at StinceBuilt.com. It's not a plug. But yeah, I've got most of the cables done. We got the pump on right now. That's what I was doing right there. So the pump is now complete. We got the RGB ran in the back. We've got all the wiring, all the things ran here. And
all right. So Experian is saying, in fact, 90% of everyday millionaires didn't inherit a significant sum of money. They also point towards avoiding any debt and aggressively paying off their mortgages. It's a great contribution to wealth. I think it's important to point out that someone with $1 million isn't a millionaire, right? That the term millionaire, and it's still how we all kind of think of it, came out of the 1920s. And somebody who had $1 million in the 1920s was rich.
Yeah.
So we all think a millionaire is rich. So today that's like $7 or $10 million, right?
Yeah.
Turns out $1 million is not that rich anymore. I mean, obviously, if anyone's thinking about giving me $1 million, you will find me sufficiently grateful. Yeah. But I think when people say millionaires, they mostly mean somebody with like $10 million these days. Those are the guys buying the boats, and driving the Lamborghinis. And that is tougher to get to with just hard work and clipping coupons. So
what I'm doing is I got to go through. Now it's the fun part. We have all these beautiful fans to add. So we added 4. We've got 5 more to go. But in the front, you can see these front fans right here. Those are 120 millimeter ARGB fans from Deep Cool. They move some pretty good air, and we're running 4 of them on like I said, the pump earlier. They keep that pump, the radiator, staying nice and cool. It's like a car radiator, radiator. Stays nice and cool. Keep liquid cool inside of it, in turn, keeps everything running smooth and sound. But they look really nice and sharp with that mesh panel right in front of it right here.
All right.
And there's the guy that does the audio. He's in chat. His name is River. Makes some amazing audio over on Spotify.
He would take a Lamborghini too. All right.
I like cars. I like boats. I like cars. There's a project that my friend turned me on to that I'd love to do eventually if it ever would occur. I would love to build a it's a early probably like a 2003 Porsche 911, but you can actually put in an LS3 motor from a Corvette in it, and it bolts right up to it inside there. So you have this little 600 horsepower Porsche that hugs the road like it's its job. And I'd love to go to it's like a VIR or Virginia International Raceway or something like that, and just drive that. That's like I guess I might say my dream car now, something like that. So
I live in Center City, Philadelphia.
Yep.
I cannot imagine being rich enough to think it's a good idea to drive a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
In the city of Philadelphia, like it's.
Yep. But you'll see
our roads are so bad. Our drivers are so bad.
You'll see all that there though, which is crazy. You'll see the Maseratis. You'll see it all in Center City.
So, yeah. A lot of times, just parked on South Street, you'll see a $300,000 car.
Yeah. There's
nothing stopping me from walking up and kicking this thing. What was this guy thinking?
Right. All right, so I'm working on the fans now. So I've turned it upside down pretty much what I'm doing right here. If you can see all the wiring and the case.
So here's a more stream-related question from Preppy Emo.
Yeah.
So when you plan to build on stream, do you email the customer and let them know when you plan to stream it?
Typically we do, yeah. If they're requesting, it's something we have it in our Discord, in our own Discord. Like we talked about it, we use Discord a lot. They can request it in there, or if we're going to build on stream, we typically do email them. Sometimes we may not. If it's just like, hey, let's say like for example, if I have a build and we're waiting on a part that was supposed to be built on a Friday, and it's like, oh, it's Friday morning, it's still not here. We have sometimes we have to pivot, and then we'll look at, all right, what else can we build? And we'll build this today. Like this one today, I did not email a customer and say he already knew. I didn't email him that same day. Like, oh, hey, we're still building yours that day. He just knew. So, but we try to. Yep.
Yeah, because watching you build a PC is cool, but watching you build my PC,
yeah,
that must be awesome.
People love it. I mean, they want to see like the time that we put into it, because we don't our prices are very competitive. Like we try to price with how everything is pretty much at retail. It's really hard to not everything we can get at retail and offer at retail, but we're really competitive. And when we can be that way, they see that really they're mostly just paying for the labor and the shipping and the software aspect of it. And obviously our cable management is what people really like, because we're meticulously managing all these cables in the back, running all the wires correctly, all the right components. They can kind of have that ease of mind, that they don't have to worry about things being inaccurate or not the right components, or flashing of BIOS and all these things that are sometimes a little worrisome for most the average consumer.
Yeah, that stuff can stink. You get to the end and you think you're done, and then you discover it doesn't actually work, and you have to.
Yeah, then we surprisingly we've had that recently. Since some products have been a bit more readily manageable for consumers, they're like, oh, I'm just going to build it myself, and then literally like 48 hours later, hey, can we send this to you? We're having problems with it. It happens, we understand that. We're like, yeah, you can send it to us. We'll take care of it, please. That's how we have to pack it, and actually not spending a little bit more money that way, because, like I said, we try to price everything really competitively.
Nice. So for those tuning in, because I know people are coming and going.
Yep.
This is a joint stream. It's Speedify Live, the live stream about live streaming, where we're talking to Jeff Stintz about, not only PCs, but how to live stream and how he uses live streaming in his business while he's actually building a PC.
Yes, we are.
I guess we're also the StinceBuilt stream on Twitch, going both places.
Yep, we should be on there. And I think it should be bringing our comments over here to the channel as well. Hopefully.
Yeah. We definitely are. A lot of these comments are.
I'm sure my mods are
coming from your side.
Yeah, I'm sure my mods are in there.
Enthusiastic.
Yes, I got a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, so what else do you do to build the community with these people? I mean, really, they love you.
We used to be able to do a lot of community gaming nights, stuff like that. We want to get back to that. Things have been kind of wild in our space in the last couple of months. We moved into this new space and it's been full steam ahead. But we want to do like more gaming nights. Actually game with the builders, things like that. We've done 24-hour streams in the past. We do build and chills. We call them on Thursdays sometimes. We'll actually hang in our Discord, put a camera out in the middle of our shop, and we'll build with their entire team hanging out. And it's a good way for our community to kind of interact with us and hang out with us and see our day to day. Because we try, like I said, we try to be really transparent about who we are and how we treat people, and they really enjoy that. So it's just kind of who we are. A lot of times in our space, there's a lot of I'm trying to think of how to word it. There's a lot of fake and money grabbing companies, and we're not like that. So we do a lot of giveaways. We give them back to people who are in need. We do a lot of stuff with veterans, and it's just kind of the people we are. I think that's why our community really grows and continues to support us, because they just want to be around a good company and a good people. And then we have that integrated with our Discord and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool.
And you're located in central Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, we're central Pennsylvania. We're outside of Harrisburg. Literally, we can drive out of our building and we can go right out the door to the side, and we'd be in Harrisburg in just a couple seconds. So,
okay.
Yep. We're outside the capital. Yep.
I thought you were a little further north.
No, we're right outside Harrisburg. We're off the turnpike. It's not too bad.
Yep.
All right. Got my wiring down here. So I was adding my big old 140 millimeter fans on the bottom of the case, which I hopefully you can see right there. If I tip it up, you can see those big old silent wings, as they call them. So I was adding those to the entire system.
So the thing is, it's kind of funny. I'm just realizing, it's probably PC is going to be 3/4 cooling by weight, right?
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the heavier components, mostly in the PC, are fans, radiators, things like that. The cooling towers, or if you're using a tower cooler. And the other big component is probably the graphics card. Most graphics cards weigh anywhere from 4 to 5 pounds, if not sometimes more for some of the newer ones. And they can get a little chunky, they can get a little heavy. But I'd say most of it is going to be around your cooling and things of that nature.
Right. So there's this physics problem, right? That if a CPU goes twice as fast, it has to generate at least 4 times as much heat, right?
Yeah.
And if it goes 3 times as fast, it has to generate at least 9 times as much heat.
The crazy part there, though, is that they've actually have gotten thermally cooler over the years. They used to be super hot.
Right.
Now they do generate more watts, things like that, and they still get hot. But some of the systems from like the first gen Ryzen were normally really hot, and some of the newer ones are actually pretty cool for the power you get out of it. So it's been like that constant trying to balance that exactly what you're talking about, trying to balance that heat to power ratio, So
do you think we're going to see? I mean, we're seeing more and more cores, but do you think it's going to go crazy? Are we going to see hundreds of cores at some point?
I mean, you might eventually see you might see 100. You might see threads. You might see the threads up there, like on the Ryzen's. Like probably the next step of Threadripper. I wouldn't be surprised if you see like a 48 core. I mean, I think you already have a 48 core. You might see like a 64 core, 128 thread. Threadripper probably. Trying to think. I don't think they had that on the 5000 series. I don't think they had a Threadripper that high, but I would be surprised to see some of those ones get that high, which should be insane because I love to see that thing in code video.
Yeah.
How fast could that process a 4K video, versus a regular standard user that's using like an i5 or an i7, So
yeah, well, a lot of these video tasks are cool in that.
Yep.
You can put all these CPUs to work.
Yep.
Grabbing different parts of the picture or working on different frames, right? Like, there are some jobs that it's just really hard to figure out how to use more than one CPU. But I think video is a good one. I think you can put hundreds of threads to work on doing different parts of your video pipeline. So you really do see the incredible speed ups. Right?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna add power to this thing. Speaking of power, we're gonna add power to it. We're gonna get our power supply out.
Oh yeah,
We've got
power
three
supply.
more fans. Power
I knew
supply.
something was missing.
We're gonna add our power supply. We have 3 more RGB fans and a GPU to add, but right now we're gonna add our power, which power is only a couple minutes to do. So not too bad. We have 850 watt power supplies, which is crazy because when you first started getting computers, they were probably couple 100-watt power supplies because they weren't using that much energy at the time. Some of them were, but now gaming PCs, the standard years ago used to be like 750 was the peak, or 650 or 500 watt, and now most people are like 850 and 1,000 for these higher end performance systems.
Wow.
Do I see a Speedify Discord?
Yeah, I think we just set one up.
Oh boy.
So the funny thing, because we go back and forth on Discord.
Yep.
Right. I mean, obviously, it's where a lot of these gamers and streamers and people who are our customers are.
Yep.
But when they jump on the Discord, they want customer support. And I really feel like they should have tickets, and we should have processes where when you email us, it's going into Help Scout software, right? And we've got jobs. If somebody emails us and hasn't gotten a response in 2 days.
Yeah.
There's an alert. Why did this person not get answered? And there are meetings every week where we go over the hardest problems people hit us with. I'm just afraid that Discord all flies by. I mean, sometimes you get your answer instantly, and sometimes things just get missed. I don't miss anyone.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just not liking Discord.
And I can say especially in our space and some other technologies that are in the IT space, you're seeing more people move to Discord. For that tech support to have that instant connectivity. Because let's just face it, people nowadays are very impatient. So I'm impatient. My wife's impatient.
And I feel I was using OBS. I was using OBS. I jumped on their Discord. I asked my question, and
you had it.
The developers instantly answered it, and I looked at it. The actual developers. They fixed my problem. It was fantastic.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't see that, and people just want that, and it's great to be able to have that. And Discord offers that aspect of that connectivity that people want. It's really nice. It's really nice.
So,
all right.
We'll have to play with it
The power supply for today is also fully modular too, which is nice. We have a big old fully modular power supply from EVGA, which is a big component manufacturer in the space. So we have to add all of our cables to it now. We have all our cables onto the power supply.
Nice. And another fan.
Another fan. Yeah, and they have a fan. So if you really break it down, how many fans are actually in the system outside of the ones we're installing? Well, 3 fans on the graphics card and 1 here in the power supply unit. So that'll be a total of 4, 7.
100.
Oh yeah, 4, 7, 9, 10, 13 fans total in the system.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. Plenty of airflow. Plenty of airflow.
Each of which, of course, is actually generating a little bit of heat itself, right?
True. Yeah,
it turns into the rocket problem, right? The more cooling stuff you add, the more cooling stuff you need.
Yeah, they call them hydro bearings and things like that of the nature in here, but they still are a little warm. But they've come a long way, though. I will say that. Like, a lot of the fans do run really cool and quiet from where they were years ago, because the bear, you just hear that thing in the background on the fan of the computer. People hated it. Like, how can I get a silent PC? Like, well, we can now. So, but when people are looking for a more performance-based system, they know there's going to be sometimes there's going to be a little bit more, a little bit more audibility from the fans. It's going to be more. You're going to hear it a little bit more. But
yeah.
All right, we're going to put this in. This power supply in.
Yeah.
Oh. There we go.
How much memory are you planning to put this in? Or did you?
What's that?
How much memory are you planning to put in this?
So we have so for RAM memory we have 32 gigs, and for storage, which people sometimes ask to say that how much storage? We have a 1 terabyte NVMe drive, so it's an SSD. But yeah, so we have 30 gigs of pretty fast memory in this one. It's 3600 megahertz, and it's at a cast latency of 14, 15, 15, 35, so it's pretty snappy RAM. So when you have the big thing for gaming nowadays is the RAM timings. When you have these faster RAM, these tighter timings, your FPS drops when you're playing these first-person shooter style games. And when you're getting into a really intense scenario where maybe you're shooting at multiple people, or people are shooting at you, your FPS drops, and that RAM will help make those drops in speed a little bit more stable. Where you're not dropping, let's say you're not dropping to 140 FPS, you're dropping to 155 or 160 when most of the time you're playing at 180. It helps you when you're in those scenarios to have a little bit faster of the RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny, as the CPU speeds get higher and higher, the RAM starts seeming slower and slower.
Yeah, DDR5, it's starting to make some really good improvements. It's getting better. It's going to be faster. It's exciting. It's definitely exciting to see what we can get out of DDR5 soon too. So only time will tell. All right. Run some of my cables. Yeah, I love this is one of the I would say Elgato did one of the best things is creating the Stream Deck. It's one of the best utilities that a streamer or content creator can have. You can do so much on these things nowadays. Everything from scene changes to video buffers, things like that. We can create like instant replays, like a replay buffer in games. You can do so much on it. Ads, which is a big thing that people talk about on Twitch. So you can do all those things, and you can run it all from inside inside that little unit. That's so amazing.
Mm-hmm. So I assume pretty much everything you ship is Windows, right?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, people have asked for Linux. We mostly just only do Windows at this time. Yep.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of requests for Linux, or?
We've had them more recently because there's been some obviously some very updates to Linux that have actually improved some gaming. But we're currently not doing anything on Linux.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on Windows. Fair number of the developers here that were running.
Yeah.
Running Linux.
We're still, a lot of us are still on
In some
Windows.
cases, Linux on their Macs.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Or they're doing. We've actually had people reach out to us that want us to build the. What do they call them? Oh my gosh. Hackintosh. Yes, like a Hackintosh. I have had those in this past year. I have had people ask for those.
I assume now that they moved to the M1, that whole thing's just going to stop making any sense at all, right?
Yeah.
So it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. So we had those requests. They have since subdued, but yeah, we definitely had them at one point.
So are we going to see, NVIDIA or whatever making M1 type chips?
We'll see what comes out of the next gen. Here? We should have the next gen's gonna be powerful. They're gonna be hungry. I don't know if we'll get M1 out of it, but we'll see what NVIDIA sends our way.
Yeah.
Can't say anything too much there about it.
I gotta say that
what I may or may not know.
Everybody here who's bought new Macs are just so happy with their decisions.
Yeah.
That,
I've heard the same thing. For productivity, they do really well. For mobile productivity. I mean, also for the you have to like the Mac environment. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
You're not buying a Mac for gaming. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just you're doing it for productivity, editing. That's what in my opinion, they've always really had that locked down very well. But I mean, gamers are gonna game. They're not gonna be moving that route. But they are really impressive, though. I will say they have definitely gotten really impressive. All right. We're almost done with our cables. We have 3 more. It's hard to say. We have 3 more fans, Alex. 3 more fans, and a GPU is all we have left.
All right.
I'm gonna call my special helper right now. I need to get Roddy in here. Need some cables. So hopefully he can shuttle me in a product or 2 that I need that I forgot to grab. Hey Roddy, can you give me a deep cool RGB hub? And yeah, that's it. Sometimes you think you have everything. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
We have 5 RGB fans and a pump, so we can only have so much RGB on one. They have their own proprietary RGB hub, and where everything's located in this case, you kind of need 2 of them, unfortunately. But it's all we have left. You see our cable management. People love our cable management. That's what we're doing on the back there. So
okay,
we're on managing all the cables. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any tips on cable management and not having huge tangled wires?
I mean, it comes down to just getting used to doing it, getting the process. But it's not too bad. It's just time consuming. So get your cables in there and try and work them little by little. If you're not used to using like zip ties, you can use like Velcro strips. There's a lot of Velcro things that companies will send you in their power supplies that you can use to kind of hold them off in the meantime. But we use a lot of zip ties. We always have tons of zip ties handy to make sure our cables are well managed. But we're gonna get back to putting those fans in there. We're gonna get ready to put this big old graphics card in today. We have a big 3070 Ti today. So let me get my last 3 fans.
Oh, look at this. You pop me up for a second. Somebody make it bigger. So apparently I had another glitch in my Comcast cable where Speedify kicked in and used the cellular to keep me streaming.
That's awesome.
So, I don't even notice these things anymore.
Yeah, that's really cool. So it just works like autonomously in the background and just does it. That's awesome.
So right, I'm using Speedify. It's got 3 internet connections. It's got Comcast cable modem, which I'm connected to with Ethernet.
Yep.
And then I have 2 cell phones, which I've marked as secondary. And so, it trusts to just use Comcast, and 99% of the time it does. But anything goes wrong, just goes to cellular. Keep us all online.
That's really cool. I mean, that's really awesome.
And Yeah, I mean, it's probably right. The Comcast cable works correct 99% of the time, but that's not enough, right? Your live stream, I mean, that's
You can't have it if you're a lot of people, like I said, they're making careers out of this. They need it to be 100% dedicated and up. You know, they can't have downtime. So it's really cool to see this. I'm really impressed, and I can't wait to recommend the product to more people. So yeah,
it's interesting. Since you changed from 720p to 1080p, now I'm using 7.5 megabits.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, because
Right.
our bit rate. I mean,
because
on
I'm
1080p,
watching you, and I'm streaming, and so yeah.
So that's a good question because my bit. I mean, I've never really looked at OBS Studio and say, hey, what is my bit rate that I'm outputting from OBS virtual camera? I never really looked at that settings. I wonder if it's actually outputting the standard bit rate we would utilize for the stream in that OBS camera product. I don't know. Roddy, do you know? Is it outputting the full bit rate when you're using virtual camera?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to.
Maybe Smitty?
All this bit rate stuff has to get more automatic, though. Right? I mean, OBS, you set that bit rate.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because we broadcast at a 6K bit rate, or even potentially an 8K bit rate. I gotta double check. Yeah, 1080p. Pretty sure 1080p.
So like 8 megabits.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
At one point, Twitch only took a max of 6.
Yeah, for partners it's 8.
For partners, 8. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yep. I'm pretty sure they boosted the partners to 8s. And I've been told by rumors that some people are able to request a 10K bit rate.
Ooh.
So, been told. Whether or not it's true.
Of course, what the audience sees is that or worse, and you never know. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so Kevin here and I actually wrote an OBS plugin.
Really?
To adjust your bit rate to either the bit rate you asked for or the fastest that Speedify thinks you can do. And we actually didn't put it out. It was kind of weird. We spent 2 days on it, and all the graphs, right? So Twitch has graphs about how well your stream is going.
Yeah.
They were like completely fixed by this plugin. Like all the sections where it went pink turned black.
So it actually fixed that bitrate issue that you were having.
Yeah, it seems to. Although when we were watching the stream, it actually still seems very glitchy to us.
Yeah.
So we really just needed to put in a few more days. I think we had almost nailed it.
Sometimes that could be not. It might not necessarily be a Twitch thing. It also could be a video, like whatever video product you're using. If you're using integrated graphics, video card, things like that, based on what you're using. But yeah, that's really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, so I used to stream from, a Windows laptop, and it took me a while to figure out what was going on, right? And that I could use OBS to record stuff, and it worked great. And I could do Zoom calls, and that worked great. But anytime I tried to use OBS to record a Zoom call, I ran out of GPU.
Really?
And so it was sort of this mystery for a long time about we would test everything, works, and then we'd go live and it'd be terrible. And the answer was I didn't have enough GPU. Like they were each grabbing the GPU for the hardware acceleration. And I don't remember what lame integrated graphics I was using, but it could not hold up. Right. So it's just an argument for get a real GPU.
Yep. Nothing can replace a good old GPU.
Also, test. That's also a moral of the story.
That something reminds me of the measure twice, cut once.
Yeah. Yeah. So we actually have we have a Twitch account that we just use for testing, right?
Nice.
That sometimes we're testing new setups and stuff. We'll just stream to that, and it has no followers. Although when we go live, sometimes we still get 2 or 3 people jumping in. Asking what we're doing, like, stop, this isn't a real account, please go away. But it's worth it.
Switching categories.
Chat is category for non-gaming.
What category were we in? Were we in just chatting?
I would think.
What? Oh, is that on a different platform?
Let's see.
Must be on Chit Chat. I see a Chit Chat. Trovo. Okay. Oh, we're live on Trovo. Oh. So we're on how many? What other? From Speedify, where are you rebroadcasting to?
Right. So this is always the question, right? Of do you want to broadcast to everywhere or just one place? We've been going with the everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we're streaming to our Facebook page, to YouTube, to Twitch, to our LinkedIn, to our Twitter, a lot of places.
Okay.
Mostly YouTube and Twitch, and sometimes Facebook. We get interactions.
Yep.
But there's this really strong argument. There's a lot of very smart people who say that we're doing it wrong, and that you should pick one place because that lets the audience interact with each other much more easily, and that's how you build loyal communities.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We've been going everywhere. I'll say LinkedIn is not working for us. Sometimes we get a viewer on LinkedIn, and sometimes
I didn't even
don't.
know you could do that on LinkedIn. To be fair with you, I have never even thought about remotely.
Yeah, they have this whole thing. You have to apply.
Okay.
And show that you have an audience. And so we applied and showed we had an audience, and they made a really big deal of it. And okay.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
I don't think we've ever had 3 viewers at once on LinkedIn. but then I've also had guests who are just like the secret is LinkedIn, right?
Wow.
You stream to LinkedIn, and that's where you get the audience of truly important people.
Sure.
I guess if you're trying to stream to executives or something, maybe they're watching LinkedIn. But
maybe.
I haven't made it work for me. It doesn't mean someone else can't make it work. I'm terrible at lots of things.
All right. I've got all of our fans. All the fans.
All right.
All right. Let me get this all connected up here in the meantime. And then
How close are we to powering this monster up?
I would say 5 to 10 minutes.
All right.
I know we've probably gone over our original allocation of time that we talked about. But we have good conversation.
Yeah, we're way past. That's fine.
It's fun.
This is fun.
Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Holy moly.
Yeah, it is 12 o'clock.
Holy macaroni.
Eastern.
Yep.
Oh, the OnlyFans thing. That's a pun.
Are they bringing it back? Are they still trying to bring that
back?
back?
Yeah, they're going back to the OnlyFans. I realize it's
my chat is very trolly, so
it seems to be all in good nature.
Yeah, they do a lot of fun.
People are asking if I would like some water. How about a cup of coffee? Anyone in the office wants to bring me a cup of coffee?
Pretty much.
2 creams, please.
2 creams. I didn't actually have any coffee today. I just had good energy, a good night's sleep because I knew we had this today, so I wanted to make sure I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for you. Is that what it is? Something insane.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure chat's having a field day that I use that reference as well.
Nice.
All right.
So how close are you guys to Cherry Springs? Isn't that the name of the state park in the...
What was it? What, you said Cherry Springs?
Cherry Springs? Or
Rod, have you heard of it? Cherry Springs?
Cherry Springs? I remember wrong. Center top of the state.
I'm not sure, honestly. I'd have to look.
Maybe I'm remembering the name wrong.
All right, here we go. All right, once we get this in,
yes, it's a stargazing location. So I've gone out there a couple times, and there are these amateur astronomers who hang out in the state park, and they say it's the darkest section of sky within 1,000 miles of New York City or something.
Wow.
And so you go up there, you give guys a little money to use their fancy telescopes, and I've actually seen Saturn with its rings and stuff.
That's crazy.
And
that's in Pennsylvania?
That's in Pennsylvania.
See, I learn something new every day.
Yeah. It's pretty close to top of the state. Yeah, I think it's center top of the state somewhere.
All right, one more piece of the puzzle to put together, and then we are on to the graphics card.
Nice. Oh, so how do you install all the software on the machine? Do you're using something to ghost the hard drive? Or you actually kind of.
So we obviously we utilize USB drives. We're not doing any kind of image-based installs or anything like that. We use not every system's going to be exactly the same. So when you use an image, sometimes you might have those variables that could not really like the software you might put in there. So we use USB drives with our base software, and then we go on to. We usually have an updated network drive that we have with all of our other drivers for the, let's say, different motherboard manufacturers, things of that nature, that will tie in, and then right from there is we go right into all the regular base software, and then from there it's stress tests, stress and stability tests, and then really it goes right into the activation and shipping. So typically software is anywhere from like say an hour to 2 hours between stability and everything like that and updates. It's not too bad.
Nice. Yeah, I guess
longer,
with USB 3 and things are finally fast enough.
You can have a full OS operating system, like a full Windows OS installed in up in like minutes. It's insane. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Like what Boom's talking about. It's what we utilize. Yeah, drives with bootable software. We boot from USB, install, and then from there it's pretty straightforward. All right. We are on to the GPU, Alex.
All right. Exciting.
There's a lot of cables in this one. I probably undervalued. Oh, that won't take too long, you know. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Crazy Navy vet.
But you'll have a beautiful system today. I'll tell you that. It's going to be flashy. So, the only we won't have is the typical. We rock out some amazing music by River, who's I think he's in the chat right now. I see him in there. We rock out some of his amazing music. We won't have that aspect today, but I think everybody in their minds will be listening and knowing that we're rocking out some music when we start this bad boy up.
Yeah. It's a Crazy Navy event saying, yeah, stars everywhere, Milky Way even. Yeah, I think it's Cherry Springs. I think I have the name right. Yeah, you can actually see the Milky Way across the sky, which, maybe out in Arizona you can see it, but there's nowhere else on the East Coast I know of where you can actually see the Milky Way. So definitely worth a visit. I think you're not that far from it.
I'll have to look that up. I never even knew. Now I do. I learn something new every day. Right. Oh, it's getting heavy. All those fans we talked about, it's getting heavy. Here we go. All right. Let's get the graphics card. That's what I think everybody wants to see now, right? I think everybody
wants
like give
we're
us
here for the graphics card.
Behemoth of that graphics card we have today. So let's snag it. All right, so we have a 3070 Ti. We have an RTX 3070 Ti. Today we're actually using EVGA. It's their For the Win 3 model, so it's one of their high-end card. Pretty big. For a 3070, it's almost the same size as a 3080, almost a 3090. A little crinkle ASMR for you too, but yeah, it's pretty hefty size there.
Oh, nice! Our fan shortage is over.
Get all the frames on this big boy.
Nice.
All right. All right, let's get the cellophane off. They wrapped this thing in a blanket of cellophane. Hear it all coming off. Which chat loves this when I do take the cellophane off. I know that. They tell me to do it slower and stare deep into their eyes, Alex.
So plastic wrapping the appliances. I'm going to complain for a second here. I recently bought a new fridge, both for my kitchen and for the office kitchen here. right? And they come covered in the plastic you pull off. I can't get all the plastic off on both, right? They're the edges at the top of the door with the plastic stuck underneath.
It's a pain.
I don't know what to do. I don't know if anyone has any
It's an
hot
absolute
tips.
pain. But when it's off, when you finally get it off, though, I guess it's nice. All right, let me grab off 2 screws here. I got to grab out, and then we're going to move the 2 PCI slots we have to put the card into, and then we'll get this card put in.
Fire melts all the cling wrap. Yeah, I keep thinking about that. But I'm so afraid to, put a lighter to the side of my new fridge. My wife comes home, big burn mark at the top. But I thought about it. The lighter, I bet it burns it all away.
All right.
But I'm afraid to try it.
Here we go. The moment everybody in our chat loves. We put this thick old card in here.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, clearance. It's right there. There it is.
I think I have it.
It just clears. It just clears. I measured it earlier. We have about a half an inch of clearance.
Oh, it's too much.
Yeah, too much, right?
Wouldn't want this to be easy on you, Jeff.
Yeah, right. Why would we want to make it easy? There is a thunk that everybody likes to hear. Hopefully, you heard that over the mic.
All right. So, what are the stats on this graphics card?
So it's a 3070 Ti. It's 8 gigabytes of memory, and it boosts to, I can't remember the boost clock speed on the 3070 Ti's, but it's a big boost. It's a decent boost over the original little brother version of it, the 3070. It's got a nice little RGB strip on this one. The cooler is really cool. It's the EVGA FTW3 cooler. It's just a little bit thicker. It keeps this card pretty nice and cool. Because I said these RTX 3000 series cards do get a little warm. Most of them hover anywhere from 70 to 75 degrees Celsius under a load. It's pretty toasty. So they can get up there. You can fry an egg on the top if you really wanted to. but yeah, this one runs pretty cool. That's why we utilize this one for the system. I'd say probably this one and the Asus. Asus makes a model called the Tough, which is when their lines stays pretty chilly. So we just grab these. I'm gonna plug these 2 lines in really quick for you, and then we're on to starting this bad boy up.
So, where do you ship PCs to? Like, just in the U.S.? Do you ship all over the world?
We ship all over. We have people who buy Canada, Europe. I'd say majority of them obviously are in the U.S. Yeah, but we get them from all over. Yep.
Nice.
I'd say probably about 90%, 95% of our people are inside the U.S.
Okay.
If not, potentially even higher. We only get a few outside of the U.S. maybe a month.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess shipping a PC overseas is.
Yeah, it can get pretty costly
Not a
pretty
big
quick.
deal.
Yeah. Yep. I got to put one more zip tie up here, and then we're zip tie in the back. And you can see all the bunch of cables that are just hanging out there that need to be cleaned up. And then we are on to booting her up. Let the whole chat and all the different social media platforms watch.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, people in the audience, where are you located? Where's our audience here?
We have people all over the U.S. Even people who get up every morning on the West Coast and watch, which is really cool to see.
All right. Florida. Tampa, Florida. North Carolina. Cincinnati, Kansas. Wisconsin. Southern California. Near Micro Center. Micro Center, my favorite store in the whole world. It's my happy place.
That's a good one. Somebody's got jokes. They're saying Micro Center. Which is a good company. I'm not saying that a bad thing. It's a good company. Love that they said that's where they're from.
Yeah. Texas. Birmingham, UK. All right. We're international, Jeff.
Yes, we are. Sometimes I've got a viewer who watches from Cape Town, South Africa, quite often. Yep. So it's really cool to see that. All right.
It's always surprising to me that Brazil's in the same time zone as us.
Yeah. Brazil and
sitting here in Pennsylvania, it feels so far away. It should be in a different time zone, but it's not.
Which is crazy because if some parts of the Caribbean are actually that are literally just due south of us are an hour behind us as well. But yeah, Brazil is same. All right. Say just south of us, but on the same almost like hemisphere line. Right. Everything's on the back. There you go. The crazy part of the cable management. That's a lot of cables in that system. So we're just dialing everything in nice and clean in the back. Then you get a nice little cover that goes in here. It looks really sharp. Sure it looks like on the back, so it kind of hides your main channel.
Ah, there you go.
It goes in just like this. I can't think I have a screw in there. I'll show you what it looks like. Goes just like this.
Hide away all those cables.
Sits in there, and there we go.
Nice.
Yep, all done. Time to boot her up. Are you ready, Alex?
I am ready.
All right, we'll get some lights on it. Gotta make it look nice, right? Get some cool lights on it. That sound good? Give you the full studio effect.
So while you do that, so my next 2 streams will both be next Tuesday. So at 2 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be talking to Legal Bites. These are live streaming the Johnny Depp trial analysis. So they've become super popular.
Okay.
And then at 5 o'clock, we're doing an IRL stream where we're going to leave the studio and go to Rim Cafe, where they are, I believe they are attempting to get into the Guinness Book with the world's largest calzone.
Okay. I like that.
In South Philly, right? So we've been to Rim before. Very entertaining people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they actually do a lot of live streaming, a lot of Instagram of their revolutionary desserts.
Okay.
So
you're saying calzone, now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday at 2 p.m., it'll be me and a bunch of the Speedify developers, and we will answer any questions you want about Speedify or software development life cycles. We are happy to go there and talk to you about how we make Speedify and why. Yeah. Turns out, Speedify's handling all your internet. It has to be completely reliable. We sort of started off as cowboys quickly writing code, and now we've realized that this is actually more like the software that controls a jet. It's got to work. People are so upset if it ever has a bug. So we'll talk about that since it turns out that at least one person in the audience cares.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm fascinated by it.
So Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, all Eastern times. So
nice. You got a busy schedule then.
Yeah.
I will be live Monday, as usual, in the mornings. What do you think? What color are we thinking today? Not pink, though, right? Not pink. Can't have pink. How about we go with a nice Speedify blue, right? How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
There we go. All right, guys. Let's turn it on. I'm going to mute myself. We're going to turn this on.
All right. So Speedify blue, the hex. Is there on the screen. 00ADEE. So is the wind? I know you don't have the window on the case right now, but is that acrylic or is it glass?
It goes on the side right there.
Yeah.
That'll be glass. Standard is glass.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna plug everything in right now. We're gonna turn it on. I'm gonna glow blue for a second. Now that I'm already wearing a ton of blue.
Drum roll.
The drum roll. Oh, I like it. All right, here we go. I see power. There we go.
Woo! Oh my God, it's beautiful, Jeff. Look at that thing. That's so nice.
That is a beautiful little PC. That it is. That it is.
Oh, now I want. Man, yeah, it's pretty. Boom. All right.
All right. Hopefully you can hear me now on this microphone. A little dark here, but there we go. That should brighten me up a little bit. We always do this little thing at the end as people are like, oh, does it actually boot into the BIOS? Are you actually done with it? Well, here's a little, yeah, we're there. So
All right.
we show our little animation. Like some people are banging their heads off the wall if they're not getting it done right, but we are indeed done. She's officially built and looking great. Just needs software. Yeah, we're gonna put over on the software bench, get everything dialed in. That's a beautiful little system right there. Great little system. I think it was. It was a couple like it was over $2,000. So nice little system there.
Nice.
But
all right.
Yes.
I guess have we been on for 2.5 hours here?
I would say probably close to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably close to 2.5 hours. Probably one of the longer ones, right? I'm in the dark here, but
Yeah.
absolute beautiful time.
Probably time to wrap up. So if you guys have been delighted with his build, StinceBuilt, find him on Twitch, follow him, doing this stuff all the time. It's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, we build live like this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on our channel at twitch.tv/Stince. And we build stuff like this, even creator stuff. We built, like I said, we build Odell Beckham Juniors and gold-plated ones. We've done them all. We do them on streams. So we love to do it.
Nice. And your next stream is Monday, you said?
Yeah, next stream will be Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be live then. And look forward to anybody wants to come over and say hello. And we look forward to it.
Awesome. And Speedify Live, we're all about people doing stuff with live streaming like this. Our next one is Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Talking to Legal Bites Media about the Johnny Depp trial. Should be interesting. Whoa. Crazy.
Wrong one. Sorry about that. I was trying to get this one back up. Sorry about that.
The mirror effect. I love it.
Yep.
All right. So I will see all of you online. Jeff, thank you. This was awesome.
Alex, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Alex, and Speedify. We'll do it again sometime.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.